Hey, what's up, everybody? That was weird. I'm late as fuck. Sorry about that. Nothing to be doing. Can't be helped. So I don't know what that phrase meant. So what's up, everyone? Welcome. All the bullshit holidays are over. Thank God. Thank God. That was rough. That was a rough one, wasn't it? Ow. Sorry, I was so late. I don't know. I had a late start to my day, and I felt like cleaning my house, and yeah, got carried away, and then I needed to buy vodka. So, well, yeah, exactly. I meant 11 p.m. Central Time. I accidentally typed Eastern Standard Time. I meant Central Time. So, here, cheers to anyone drinking out there. Oh, big Ari fan. Ew, she's a girl. I think. I don't know what the fuck she is on. I don't know what she is. I don't know. I think she's not a Christian. That's what I know. Ooh, I get so mad when I think about how she's not a Christian. Oh my God, I'm gonna save her soul. I'm gonna take it upon myself to save her soul. My God, you best believe. I love Alex Jones's faces that he makes, and I love how he's like a fucking wrestler, dude. Like, dude, that dude can cut a mean wrestling promo. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this is the first idea that I felt like was pretty good in like a really long time. You had what's his face? All their names are escaping me. GameSack and My Life in Gaming. Joe Redifer and what is his name? Touch or Trey or something from My Life in Gaming, whatever. They teamed up and they made this like really well put together documentary on electronic gaming, Gamer Monthly, whatever. I had some of these magazines growing up. Yes, let the light sensitivity begin. Oh, we got the $5 super chat from Zombie Trash. Woot woot money train. I'm gonna get it started. Sound like that could have been like the beginning of like some rap songs. Woot woot money train. I'm gonna get it started. If you fuck with me, I might have farted. I don't know. I'm not good at rapping, and my voice sounds incredibly Caucasian when I rap, and I feel like that's not like a good vocal tone for if you're wanting to rap, to just sound incredibly Caucasian. So anyhow, Cerebral P with the 5 Canadian. Choo choo, motherfucker. All aboard the grift train. Do you guys like how matchy I am tonight? What do they call it? Shipping? No, it's not shipping. Am I serving in this outfit? And my phlegm is green too. Just joking. Just kidding. All right. Junkers, $5. Okay, I'll bite. Got that U.S. money. Hell yeah. Outdoing the Canadians just by virtue of the weight of our dollar versus the loony and the toonie and the zoonie and the Paul Mooney. I don't know. Yeah, again, sorry for being late. Covered that one. Gonna watch this cool documentary. Had a show yesterday in St. Augustine, Florida. That one, it was good. It wasn't our best show, but it wasn't our worst show. It was just, it was a good show, but it wasn't like... First of all, the stage was the size of a gnat's dick, so there was that. That definitely didn't help things very much as far as stage performance was concerned. And sometimes I ask myself, it's like, I've been doing this band for like 9 years now. When do we get to move to bigger stages by default? Like, when is the default move that we get to play like just a bigger stage? Like we don't play these venues of this size, but I don't know if that's gonna happen for any band. Like, I think whatever year the monoculture died, your band is just frozen in that like fucking resin for like forever. So like if you're like a mid-tier touring act that's been around for 10 years, that's where you'll just kind of always stay. Just because, yeah, there's just way too much music out there. And the music industry is shit. Not saying anything new. But, so yeah, I think Dancing with Ghosts is just going to stay stuck being a small to mid-sized venue band. And, yeah, it's just probably going to have to be something that I get used to. I have gotten used to it because I don't have a whole lot of experience playing large stages, although I have played some. Jen Stowe, I'm in, looking good in green with the 1999. Jen Stowe, by the way, I've been meaning to contact you. I got your Christmas card. It was fucking amazing. Thank you so much. Like, oh my God, that shit was like, that made my fucking night. Like, I want to say it was like, yeah, it was on New Year's Eve. I went up to this bar down the road, which is the address that I give people, is the bar down the road. I'm not gonna give you my home address, silly. But yeah, the owner who I work for is like, hey, you got a package, you know. That happens a lot when I go there because that's instead of having a P.O. box, I have Eclipse's address. So yeah, I went there and yeah, thank you very much. That was a very generous Christmas gift. And I still need to listen to that fucking mix CD that you made, but I'm excited to listen to it. So yeah. Anyway, show went good. Okay, I think I covered everything. Let's get to the whole point of this video, shall we? Electronic. Oh, I can't wear the hat. Electronic Gaming Monthly. EGM. What was Game Informer? That was the GameStop one, right? I think I read Game Informer the most, if I'm being honest. I didn't read a lot of gaming magazines in general, cause like, I don't know. Oh, you know what it is? I just got done vacuuming and I stirred up a bunch of dust probably by doing that. Yeah, I never considered myself like hardcore enough of a gamer to like justify buying like a subscription to a gaming magazine, like, because I like my like preferences are so specific as it is that like I just feel like I wouldn't have really benefited that much if I had a subscription to a gaming magazine. Now, if there's like an article about a game I was looking forward to or something, I might have bought one. Game Pro, yeah, that was like a big one. I don't know. I kind of wish I had subscribed to Nintendo Power like Bimmy did, like especially like the 90s ones. Those would be really cool to look through. Dude, go on eBay right now and check the prices of those old Nintendo Powers. Like, they are worth a lot of money last time I checked. I could be wrong, but yeah, they were worth a lot of money a while back, that last time I looked. So obviously a lot of other people feel the same way I do about like wanting to see the Nintendo Power magazines from like the 90s, when, you know, a lot of times they would show you games that would never come out. Like I think they infamously like teased Star Fox 2, and then that literally only came out like 20 years later on, if not more than 20 years later, on the SNES Classic or SNES Mini. I don't know why they wouldn't have just named it the Mini instead of like the Classic, because it's like it makes so much more sense for them to name it the Mini, and that's what everyone calls it anyway. What's this? The Corey Feldman versus the World movie on my desktop right here that we could watch. It's just like a click away. Yeah, sorry. Won't be watching that one because that would definitely get the stream shut down. But I do have it. And we will be watching it on my Discord if you want to join that. It is free, by the way. Some channels, you can't join their Discord for free. It's a Patreon perk that you can only get by joining Le Patreon. Another $5 from Zombie Trash. Happy birthday, Stan. Josh gets the moolah, though. Jeez. Why are you making Stan sit in the cuck chair right now? It's fucked. But I need the money by God, so I'm not going to fight it. Oh, well, happy birthday, Stan. Happy 21st birthday, Stan. Oh, yeah, the Discord link, right. Where's that at? I'm going to give you a Discord link. I'm also going to give you the Patreon link because I got a lot of exclusive shit on there at this point. And I feel like it's worth it now. Like there's enough backlogged exclusive stuff on Patreon. Now it's like really, really worth it. So I'm putting the Patreon link in the chat as well. And once I get all that grifting out of my system, let that simmer and marinate there for a little bit. Zombie Trash is my shill in the audience who is shilling for my Patreon, which is great because you need every grift needs a good shill. So yeah. Anyway, let's get to this. Oh shit, where's my mouse? Let's get to it. From Pixels to Pages, the Electronic Gaming Monthly Biography. I don't know, whatever they call it. I'm thinking the guys from My Life in Gaming had more to do with these kind of shots. I don't see GameSack achieving these nice like drone shots personally, but that's just me. Koyaanisqatsi.
EGM was a multi-platform video game magazine that began in 1989 in the Illinois area.
The main goal of the magazine was to get the information to the readers first.
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing like what Joe Redifer from GameSack, like what participate, like what he had to do, like what his responsibilities were in the creation of this documentary. My Life in Gaming, they always get like really nice shots of their, from what videos I've seen, like I don't know, Frankie kind of said it best. They covered this documentary on their Red Cow thing. Look at me shouting out Red Cow again, even though Frankie never talks about me. No, I'm just fuck. I don't care. A certain douchebag I know is going to clip that and add it to his little pathetic channel that he's got going on there. His little cottage industry he's built on me. But anyway, no, like I agree with what Frankie said. Like Frankie's like, My Life in Gaming just goes a little too into the weeds for me. Like a little too much. I don't really give a fuck about like converting all my consoles to SCART, you know, like, yeah, I don't really fuck with that either personally. I mean, GameSack's all right too, but even GameSack does a lot of stuff where I'm just like, okay, games that were left in Japan, Volume 17. Here we go. Reports, Volume 14. Okay, like gets a little tedious.
The people that bought our magazine.
Yeah, I don't like the hat. I'm not gonna lie, Frankie. If you're out there, the hat's gotta go. It's gotta go. Get it out of here. You gotta get it out of here. Don't like the hat, Frankie.
We're a little bit older. They had their own money.
EGM gave readers a special kind of assurance that the reviews.
Okay, you guys know me. and you see that I stopped on this frame, what do you think I'm about to comment on? And by you guys know me, I'm a jackass. So what do you think? What do you think I'm going to comment on here? I'll wait. I wouldn't call it a boil, but yeah, I think mole, 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 mole. It's dead center. It's dead center. It's like a piercing, but it's too low to be a piercing and too fleshy colored. That's not a third eye, my friend. That is a third fucking nipple. That is a third nipple on his chin. I could not stop. I'm sorry, dude. It's like, you know, you can't. Everyone's thinking about it. It's like that fucking scene in Trailer Park Boys where Phil Collins, the other Phil Collins, not singer Phil Collins. Phil Collins has this big, the mustard tiger's got his gut hanging out of the bottom of his shirt, and everyone keeps staring at it. He's like, "Are you looking at my gut? Are you staring at my gut?" And Ricky's finally like, "Yes, we're looking at your gut." And he just like lifts his shirt up. He's like, "Yes, look, you have a huge gut. We can all see it. We all notice it. Yes, we're looking at your gut." I mean, that's what I feel like I have to do right now. Cerebral P, Canadian 20 bucks is $14.56 American dollars. Sweet, thank you.
We're gonna
Chin chode.
tell it like that.
Chin chode. It's kind of funny.
The workload was intense. We're talking 70, 80, 90-hour weeks.
Yeah, how does he shave around that thing? You must have like an electric razor where you can like really like edge around it, you know, because if you just have a straight razor, oh, can you imagine shaving it off accidentally? That's a cringy thought. Oh my God, you accidentally shave it. With that being said, though, why couldn't you just have that removed? I'm gonna feel like, because spoiler alert, that dude died since the making of this documentary. I'm gonna feel like an asshole if like that was some precancerous thing that ultimately led to his death.
Writers. We were gamers first, before writers, before layout artists, before copy editors, before any of that.
We were fresh out of high school. Most of us didn't have college.
EGM's unique qualities was partially because of how unprofessional they were in the publishing world.
I was like, wait, what? You got a job at EGM? So like you're moving to California? He's like, no, dude, they're in Lombard. Like they're like 2 blocks from my dad's house.
I remember a lot of times when we were literally racing to get to O'Hare and drop off our prints. Yes, another one in the books.
We were winging it.
There are so many games that we wouldn't even know were ever even in development if not for EGM being completely tenacious about going to the trade shows and just snapping pictures of every game there.
I had the camera, I took the pictures, I knew what had to be done.
Even if they...
In full disclosure, I have already seen this documentary, but I was nodding in and out of consciousness because it was when I woke up the next day, I threw it on, but I was like half asleep. So I saw a large chunk of it, but I think towards the end is when I don't remember anything. But this guy with the camera, I think he's my favorite from this documentary. I don't know why, I just like him a lot. And I like his tenacity with that camera of his to be able to get good screenshots of, I guess Darkside Phil did it with his DSLR, so maybe it's not that hard. But back then, when you're using film, are you kidding me? And you can't see the picture after you take it. You just have to hope to God it comes out right when you get the film developed. Yeah, that took a lot more skill than what Fucktard DSP does, and Fucktard's different than Restarted. I don't care what anyone says. Fucktard it's its own word, and it doesn't need to be explained, really.
They had a no photograph sign on the booth. Ed was snapping photos of everything.
The review crew, I think, is maybe the best representation of what EGM's ethos was.
We spoke our mind and lost advertisements.
That's how the review crew was set up. It wasn't about pandering to the companies.
It drove Konami crazy. It drove Capcom crazy.
I think EGM proved that you could do this and still be a...
Yeah, but why would you say anything bad about Capcom? There's nothing bad to say about Capcom. I'm not even joking. I have no notes when it comes to Capcom. Everything they've done has been pretty much perfect in my mind.
Success.
And I always marked every game lower than the game itself just because it was on hardware that sucked so bad.
That's a thing that really happened.
Capcom's pulling their ads.
By the way, that's Steve Harris, the publisher of EGM.
He was the guy. I mean, he made EGM.
All of a sudden, he pulls us into a big meeting, and hey,
I disagree. I think Resident Evil's a fine game. I think it's a fine game.
guess what? I sold the company today, and here's your new bosses.
I think that when it became corporate and driven by writers less than gamers, I think it lost a lot of its edge.
And there's really been nothing like that since then.
Wow, this is really deep stuff.
I love video games. Back in when the Atari 2600 came out, I just loved it. I played it. I became very passionate for it. I'd play it and play it and play it. So I got good at it, set some world records, won some contests, won the Star Master contest from Activision. They sent me to California, and I actually was in an episode of The Greatest American Hero. I handed Connie Selica a rose, and of course it didn't make production.
Boy, oh boy.
Our local newspaper up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, somebody was reviewing a game, and I looked at that and I said, I can do better than that. I wrote the editor of the Milwaukee Journal Green Sheet where it was published, explained what I did. It's son of a gun. I had myself one of the first video game weekly columns in the nation called Video Adventures in Milwaukee Journal in the early 80s.
I had my first column too in Jacksonville called Anal Adventures. It's true, you guys, because I really like butt stuff.
That got me to the trade shows. I'd meet the companies, and it just snowballed, and it did very well. Then, at one Consumer Electronics show, I met this young kid. His name was Steve Harris. He said, I want to make a magazine. I hear you have a pretty good reputation. How can we work together on this?
Steve Harris is very much in the kind of businessman that sees an opportunity and tries.
This was back when he had his first publication called Electronic Game Player.
That was the predecessor to EGM. It was a 4-shot. There's only 4 issues, with number 2 being the rarest. I had a lot of the same feature articles and structure as early EGM.
He's probably 18 years old, and he was walking around in his white jumpsuit along with 3 of his other friends for the U.S. National Video Game Team.
Steve Harris was on the U.S. National Video Game Team before EGM was even conceived. I've been on the U.S. National Video Game Team since 1989. It was actually in a Tips and Tricks video, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, did he have it back then? Okay, so I don't know if that's a clef or the formation of that third nipple under his lip. I'm trying to look real hard here. Or it kind of looks like a zit. I don't know, I wish. Hold on, let me blow this up. It looks like it's forming. Like it's starting to form, but it won't fully come to fruition until he becomes an older man, apparently. Honestly, I want to see a documentary on that thing and what the story with that is. Once again, boy, will I feel like a dick if that's what he died from in some way or another.
You are challenged by both outer space warfare.
Oh, we got another perspective on it.
And also interior adventure scenes.
Oh, nope. You didn't have it. You see a side profile there. It's a very Leafy-esque side profile, but nonetheless, I do not see the protrusion that we once saw in his later years.
The U.S. National Video Game Team was a big part of the marketing for EGM in probably the first 12 to 18 issues.
The U.S. National Video Game Team presents Electronic Gaming Monthly.
and that came out every couple of months or so. We would do that, and eventually it worked into monthly. Sendai Publishing, the name was picked because it's a Japanese name, a region up in northern Japan. And it was thought that you would get Japanese companies to advertise in a magazine with a Japanese parent company, whether it worked or not. And he got it going.
Will I ever do gameplay of the AVGN 8-bit game? I'd totally watch you stream play it. That's a good question. It's probably available on Steam, I would imagine, at this point. I don't have Steam on this laptop, or else I'd look it up right now. Yeah, I could probably do that. People have been wanting me to play games on here for a long time. I might dedicate a Friday night stream to doing something like that. I mean, people are like salivate for anything Bimmy or Pat the NES Punk related, so it'll get good ratings, and that's all that matters. Fuck creativity or passion. No, I liked his first game, so I'd be open to playing his second game. I mean, it's basically a Mega Man clone. Who's kidding who? Sorry you just farted. I didn't have anything to do with that. Or did I?
I got the job at EGM when I was 16, so really the only other experience I had was school. Some friends and I did a fanzine about video games, Elite Players Club. I was working for an electronics store, and my boss at the time needed my help at the 1989 CES. I connected with David White. I had a copy of Elite Players Club with me, and I gave it to him. From there, I got a job at FCI Helpline as a video game counselor.
Steve Harris, he ran the helpline for them.
I answered an ad that said, "Do you like to play video games?" I figured, sure, I like to play video games.
I was like, sign me up. I get to play video games all day and make money doing it? Sure.
So I started helping by answering telephones, and we had to take down names and put them into a database.
And then that opened the door to get into EGM.
What I ended up doing while I was there is I took the old little, I call it the Baby Mac, and I used a very rudimentary publishing app on there to create actual dungeon maps. And I just did this because it helped help us with the FCI helpline when people called in for Ultima. They saw that, and then that's when David left, that was my in. They were like, you have the skills we need to fill this role. So that's how I got in.
It's still to this day the most unusual interview I ever had, and not for the reasons you would think. It was Martin, and he brought me into David White. We were talking about all the different things, and suddenly they got into this argument. Is this real? What am I getting into here?
We've noticed that there were some things lacking in a magazine, and that was there was no independent photography.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'm ignoring you. Super chat here. $1.99. Thoughts on the Johnny Health and his band Health? I like what's that one Health song that I like that everyone probably already knows. I'd probably like their other music too. What's the fucking song? No, not from Cyberpunk. No, that's not it. Oh, they did a song with Bad Omens. Ugh. Oh, is it No Escape? No, what the fuck is the song that I like by that band? Down these days. Jeez, they like totally look like a band that Street Sex ripped off. Not even gonna lie. What the fuck? I feel like they had like a fucking big hit. Man, this is like a soundtrack ass band. They've been on like they've done Max Payne and dude, Kavinsky is awesome. I own their first album. I think their first and only album. Feel like Daft Punk was a huge influence to Kavinsky. Josh, what is your opinion on Indian people? I think Indian people have all the Eastern people. I think they have like the best sense of humor. I think Indians are most like Americans of the East, the Far East or whatever. I worked with a lot of Indians when I was 19, and I don't know, they were like they were funny and witty, and I don't know, just like dude came from India. Like the dude I worked for was this like older Indian guy, and he was funny, and he was kind of a dick, like, I don't know, like, but then he brought over his nephew, and his nephew was like just like me, but like from India, and like, I don't know, like we like joking and I don't know. I have a generally very positive opinion on Indian people, honestly. I think there's some of I don't know. I feel like they give me American vibes, and they got Bollywood. I mean, come on, they got a whole ass like infrastructure for creating movies over there. Like they are the U.S. of that region, I feel like, in a lot of ways, and not so much in other ways, but whatever. Fuck off.
For you,
I know it wasn't a real question anyway.
we're using stock screenshots.
What set EGM apart was that Ed Semrad was a photographer.
Had all the latest Nikon cameras, lenses, accessories, full color darkroom. I was
Okay, this is interesting to me in the documentary.
really, really into photography.
We didn't get images from PR companies or from publishers.
Not just a photographer, but someone obsessed with getting the best photographs of game screens possible.
I knew enough of the video technology back then to be able to take screenshots off of a television set without showing the raster line.
Now, yeah, that's crazy to me. Like that's pretty impressive, honestly.
I feel that Ed's obsession with getting photographs of everything really colored the tone of the magazine, and ultimately I think set it apart from everybody else.
He was responsible for the maps, and he pieced these together with photographs.
I sat there and took individual screenshots of every screen.
This is shit's crazy right here.
The one that sticks in my mind is
Look at this.
Phantasy Star. They had an island, and there was maybe 200-300 individual screens, and then I'd take the film and print them as wallet-sized pictures. And then came the hard part. I would sit there with an X-Acto blade and a steel ruler and trim around each picture so that they would match up perfectly. Stuck tape underneath, carefully lined them up, and if everything worked, it looked like a real map.
That is insanity to me. Like, that is dedication to a craft. Like, holy shit. You would see this shit in these gaming magazines, and you just take it for granted. And you don't know how they do it, but it's like, oh, well, they just, I don't know, the company just gave them that printout. And it's like, nope. No, they had to go in and take pictures of every screen change in the game, piece it all together. Yeah, that shit's crazy. Like, just for one, map of one game, of one issue, it was a whole like full page, dual page spread or whatever you want to fucking call it. Like that's really interesting. Sure, I'll entertain the question. What are my thoughts on German people? Some Germans that I've met have been way too fucking uptight and way too like anal retentive. Other Germans I've met have just been like happy-go-lucky Europeans. Clearly very European, but like, hello dude, how's it going, Josh? What's up, man? Let's get drunk, drink some beers, that'd be fun. Let's do it, man. Fuck yeah. Like, that kind of energy. So, I mean, not so dissimilar to most, people of like when I had these experiences, I was in my 20s. I think they were also in their 20s. So if you're in your 20s and you're, not from a third world country where like you've seen war and death your whole life, you're probably going to have that same kind of like, hell yeah, bro, let's drink some beers and fucking ogle some chicks.
We're able to do scrolling shooting maps, and that was another thing which we were able to do to get more circulation.
A part of the reason we were able to scoop everyone, it was getting into the trade shows in Japan.
Because a lot of the games that came from Japan came out way earlier than in America.
It was challenging. I'd go to Japan 4-6 times a year, take pictures, bring them back. We'd run them in the magazine. I would have loved to have been able to send somebody, but I felt safer and more confident just going myself, getting the pictures, and it was brutal. Martin would come along, he would play the games, and I'd take the pictures.
I actually almost didn't graduate because I was going on trips to Japan.
The other advantage of me going, I was the representative of the magazine. You know, I was somebody they could speak to, show me what you have, we'll put you in the magazine for this. I could get things done rather than just sending, you know, somebody else there who can say, well, we'll try to do what we can, and then get to meet more people, and that would snowball also. Thank you. There always were exclusives at trade shows. Sometimes you had to get into special events. You had to know the right.
Hey, there's Mega Man in the background at a Capcom thing. I still feel like Japan's holding back some Mega Man game. I know it. There just has to be a Mega Man game that they're holding back from the US that I haven't played that's probably really good. I don't know why, but I feel like that's just got to. Man, I love that Capcom logo in the background. It's the same as it is today. I like when companies just kind of keep the same logo for like long periods of time. They never like change it because it's like, I don't know, it just becomes that much more iconic like the less you fuck with it. I don't know who all here has the chip. I don't know. It's not potato. I guess it's onions. That chip company Funyuns, the brand Funyuns, the fried onion chips. You know Funyuns. Everyone knows Funyuns. Bro, you can't look at that packaging of a Funyuns bag and tell me that they've done any kind of major innovation since like the 1970s. Like that's been the same bag for like 50 years. They must have spent $10 in the R&D department on the Funyuns bag. Doritos have gone through billions of different. In fact, if there's a bag of Doritos in a movie, you can tell what decade the movie's from based on the Doritos bag. Funyuns? Good luck, buddy. Just love how they have a picture of the Funyuns inside the bag. They didn't just make that section clear so you could just see the Funyuns. There's a picture of what they're supposed to look like. Anyway, I'm getting off on... What am I, fucking Jerry Seinfeld right now, going off on Funyuns? God damn it. What are they, fun onions? Why do they call them Funyuns? Okay, we got a $1.99 super chat here. I guess I'll read this question. Ghost or Dancing with Ghosts? Your thoughts. This is what I call a non-question. A band that's a lot more successful than mine that happens to have the same word in their band name that my band does versus a band that I've like put all my time and effort into writing my own songs. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with my own band on that one, but you know, that's just me. I'm a weirdo like that.
People literally, I don't want to seem strange about this, but literally everyone was just that difficult. Whether it was getting first pictures of the PlayStation, first pictures of the Mega CD. I was a dumb American who would just take pictures. Then they'd say, no, and you know, they get the X, and someone would stand in front, and it's fine. I got my.
Okay, that's a question I have, and I know there's some weebs out there who can answer it. This thing is that like an Asian thing? Because they did that shit in Squid Game too. And I'm a dumb American. Is this like their word for like don't do it or no? Instead of being like, hey, no, cut that shit out. Cut that shit out, son. Because that's how we do it in the US of A. Is this like no in other countries? I don't know. Oh, we got another 20 from Cerebral Pete. Dancing with Ghosts. I don't pay Ghost. I think the band Ghost is doing just fine financially.
Pictures, I'll just.
No means no. Yes, that's an Asian thing. Okay, that's all I need to hear.
Move on somewhere else.
I like that. I like that. Hey! Back off! I don't care what song you want to sing on karaoke.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask permission. That was the obsession. The thing was, if I miss a trade show, somebody else may not, and we won't have the first pictures.
I wish that guy photographed me naked like he photographs those games. Looks like he puts so much care and interest in it. I just wish he would photograph me naked the way he photographs those games, man. Or anybody for that matter. It could be anybody. I just wish they would take that time and consideration into my naked body as he does into those games. Is that weird? Was that a weird thing I just said?
There are titles in here almost every time that the only evidence we have of them ever existing was the photo that we took.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. Does not work with sex, says input username now. No, that's an astute observation. The whole asking for forgiveness rather than permission. Yes, don't do that with sex. Just don't do it. It's not the right thing to do. It's bad. And there will probably be legal, if not social repercussions if you do something like that. You dumb fuck. Don't do that. Don't rape. Oh, damn. I don't know if I can just go out with the hard R there with the rape. I think I should have said don't grape, but I already said it. And now nobody wants to advertise on my video now.
I know for a fact this is the only image that exists of Championship Wrestling on the NES. Super NES version came out, NES one didn't.
Damn, and it looks like such a good game, too. Who doesn't love playing an isometric wrestling game where if you're throwing someone to the right or to the left, they're just hitting the fucking turnbuckles. They're not even hitting the ropes because it's fucking isometric. And I think like 7 times out of 10 isometric angles usually fuck games up more often than not.
Can we still take some pictures?
The cone. Gotta talk about the cone.
Figuring out the best way to photograph.
Gotta talk about your mole, my friend. Your mole. Oh, Danzig going on. Which are your band's favorite songs for a noob? 7 Years, Broken Mirrors. Still Remains. That's one of my personal favorites. I mean, I really love Art of Apathy. That's our newest song. Yeah, I don't know. Start with those.
Graph television screens and like trade show environments that had a lot of light noise. What he would do is he'd come up with hack together tech to get the best photographs he could.
Computer monitors, television sets, highly reflective. Yeah, you can get a picture, but you're going to have this big bright light shining off the TV, making it very, very difficult.
So Ed came up with this cone made of cardboard.
And the top part's cut off so that it's hollow, rectangular to fit a TV screen on the bottom, tapering down to a square where I can put my lens in.
That's kind of like ingenious, but at the same time, like, how the fuck did you get that into a gaming, what do they call those? It's a fucking like is it a conference? Trade show. That's what I was thinking of. How do you get that into a trade show, without people being like, hey, you. No, that's got to go.
So we were able to get pictures that way, but we couldn't play the game. I got this cone sitting on this TV screen, and, they're saying, I can't see the screen. So then, okay. So then we cut a little U-shaped channel in there, flipped it up, then Martin could sit there, play the game.
Martin, get over here!
I had to crouch down and look into the cone and play the game.
And there wouldn't be any light coming in, and I was able to take the pictures, and we just called it the Cone of Silence.
This is like the title screens of like Trailer Park Boys episodes. It just has like that's almost like the same font, like, but the titles would be a lot more vulgar, which is funny to me.
A lot of my friends were working in retail or working.
Look at that mullet, boy. Oof. You know it's the 80s when a young man's rocking a mullet like that. It's not even like a fashion hipster mullet. That is just an honest-to-goodness mullet.
Manual labor jobs, and here I was learning Photoshop and desktop
Friends with the
publishing
Benedicts,
and
exactly.
skills that,
Oh my God, look at that old Adobe Hold on, I need to see that old-ass Adobe Photoshop screen. Sorry. It's Photoshop is a huge part of my life, being a YouTuber who does everything themselves.
Friends were working
or being in a band. Basically any time you need to make a custom graphic, like, yeah, it's pretty much you need to know how to work Photoshop on some level.
Working, manual labor jobs, and here I was learning Photoshop. And
oh my God, I wonder what year that was from. Oh, .tif format. Okay, I guess that's been around for forever. I thought that was like a newer format. Damn. That is an old-ass Apple operating system right there. That was probably back when Photoshop cost like $2,000, but, you just pay the one-time fee and you just own it. That was back when that was a thing, That's not so long ago that you could, like, buy an app or an application, as we used to call it in long form, and you just owned it once you paid, like, the initial upfront cost. Yeah, that's like a fucking bygone era at this point. The concept of just buying a computer program and just owning it after you bought it. Well, it's like unheard of now.
And desktop publishing and skills that,
Anybody remember, like, in the graphic arts, like, aspect, anybody remember that program Corel Draw? I think that was like the I don't know, was Photoshop just for Mac back in the day? I don't remember, but like Corel Draw, my dad had this computer nerd friend that built us our first computer, and like he had all these like pirated like software on there, and Corel Draw was one of them. That was a very expensive program that he just like threw in for free, along with like Warcraft 2 and like all like this like screensaver suite that had all these like different screensavers that were not standard. That was a pretty cool computer for the time.
College grad would have.
Quark Express, the document creation software, we had some of the very first copies. We taught these guys, I take it back, they taught us what the software would do.
We had Steve Harris, the publisher, Ed Simrad, the editor. David White was the associate publisher, and then there was myself and a handful of assistant editors and copyright and advertising staff.
We were a very small team. So I did a lot of the same type of work as Martin did at the time, reviews, fact files, that kind of thing.
Fact file, well, that's basically like you're not throwing your opinion into those. You're just going to, this is this game that's coming out soon. It's not out yet.
So it's recording the game, taking photos and screenshots, compiling them into Quark Express to make the layout for the magazine, literally creating backgrounds in Photoshop to try and like put in there.
It would be 1 to 4 pages or more.
You'd play it to completion, ideally, but at least as far as you could.
Basically, we had to do a lot of the layout and design.
And everybody was trained in Quark, Photoshop, and Illustrator, and then we used a program called Typestyler back in the day. My first official article was issue 6. I did Revenge of Shinobi.
The first thing I had to work on, where I did my first full spread, was Bart versus the Mutants. that was a lot of fun. A lot of secrets in that game.
You would complete the page, you'd give the optical disc to Ed, and then he would go over it, and if it's okay, good. If it's not, make some changes.
And then review crew is when we let it all out and told the readers how we liked the game or disliked the game.
We wanted to have multiple reviewers.
Basically, the review crew was 3 or 4 sentences about the game that you just played extensively and a number score.
and having multiple reviewers, that was better than just having one person do a page.
I feel like the multiple review thing, like I feel like all the gaming magazines like did that for a time. Like I feel like GamePro and I feel like they all did. What was the fucking gaming magazine where like the ratings, it was like the dude's like face and his hair would like change, like the better the game, if the game was like really good, his hair would be like all spiked up and he'd be like, ah! Like what was that one? Was that game? I feel like that was GamePro, or was that Nintendo? Nintendo's magazine. Oh, it was GamePro. Okay, yeah, that's the one I remember reading the most. And yeah, they're gonna bring up GamePro here in a bit and talk shit about it.
On the game, that's just one person's viewpoint.
The review crew concept lifted directly from Weekly Famitsu in Japan.
Boy, did it.
David Siller was actually the one. He was Steve's ad coordinator, and he saw the 4-panel system in Famitsu and said, we have to do this in an American magazine.
Steve decided that, okay, we're going to have 4 of them also. So it was Steve, myself, Martin was there. And we also had our mystery reviewer. We had Sushi X.
The moniker of Sushi X was created by David Siller, and it was based off of Taco X in Famitsu.
We didn't know Japanese or the culture or anything. We figured, okay, we want our own variation, and he would be Sushi X. Well, taco in Japanese does not mean what we thought it was, the Mexican food. Taco means tentacles. Wherever you're playing an arcade game, multi-armed player, super fast, I'm guessing, some spectacular player, and that's what it meant rather than the way we interpreted it. But by then we had our Sushi X, and it just.
So I'm getting some feelings of regret from this guy, like as though, yeah, like input got it. Like we knew they ate this weird stuff called sushi and they're Asian, so they're gonna be talking about tacos. Well, we're gonna name our guy Sushi. So I don't know if there's some like racial undertones there or something about like, maybe we shouldn't have called it sushi, but we thought they were which, I don't know, was the taco invented in the U.S.? It would not surprise me if it was. It would not. I don't know. Do Mexicans scoff at the taco, or are they just like, oh, we do not eat this over here, you dumb Americans. We do not eat these tacos. By the way, that was a perfect Mexican accent. I nailed that shit. You guys probably thought I was from Guadalajara or something just then. I'm not. I'm just really good at accents.
Stuck.
I don't like to talk too much about Sushi X because to this day, people will still hit me up randomly on like social media and ask, who was Sushi X? Tell us who Sushi X is. Personally, I love keeping the mystery going. Most of the time, Sushi X was one person whom I'm not going to name.
It was originally David Siller who wrote the reviews for Sushi X. David moved on into development within the industry, and then Ken Williams took over the role.
I like how they just made that like Asian guy look like a jackass. He's like, I'm not gonna say who Sushi X was, and then like mole guy's like, Sushi X was David Schiller, and then took over by blah 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 blah. Yes, I'm aware that tacos are seen as a Mexican food, but so is like pizza. But apparently that was invented in the U.S., so I don't fucking know. At this point, everyone wants to claim everything. I don't fucking know. What did fucking Algeria invent the cheeseburger, and Americans are taking credit for that? I don't fucking know. Is Algeria a country? That's a question for another day. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Is Algeria a type of algae? As far as I know, am I intoxicated? Yes, that is one thing we do know, and we can start from there. Start, putting the strings together, you know what I mean, on the big fucking board, the Beautiful Mind, where he's got all the strings and shit, and it's all schizophrenic gobbledygook. Basically what's going on here right now.
Sushi X.
Loved it. One of the nice things about being behind the scenes is nobody knows who you are. They can't, if you say something bad about a company's game because you don't like it, wasn't me. I don't know, what are you talking about? That was that mysterious Sushi X guy.
Not everybody would like every game because some like shooters, some like puzzle games, and that was just each person's philosophy. And
like how big and bad the chat is with their free reign to Google shit instead of having to be entertaining. like me, where I'm just, I have to be, you know, and I've achieved it. I mean, I'm being entertaining as fuck. I'm regaling you guys with my shimmering personality, but I don't, but you know, I'm on right now, and so I don't have the time to go and Google these things and make the streamer feel like a fucking idiot. But you guys have that kind of time, but I don't, because I'm on, baby. What's worse than having a crab on your piano, a lobster on your organ? Wait, shit, I fucked that joke up. What's worse than having a lobster on your piano, a crab on your organ? Oh, what was just rehash some dice bits. Fucking what was it? His dumb nursery rhymes. Went to get a bone, got a bone of her own. Whatever. Fuck you.
As you read
this is free.
The magazine, you would know that, oh, this is Sushi X. He likes street fighting games.
I think the hardest part was really trying to sum up what you thought about the game in such a small
Hi, good night,
space.
Rhea.
You don't have a lot of room to talk about graphics or the sound or the hardware it's on or anything like that.
We're here to tell you if these games are good or not.
When we reviewed a game, we told it like it was.
You had to play a game through to the end if possible, and get the real feel of the game.
I know they tell us that they played through every game, but there's no way. Like there's a chronology problem here where no way if like 3 RPGs came out that month.
Well, I can only speak for myself on that one. I wanted to beat every game I reviewed.
I didn't. I can admit that. I couldn't get through 15 levels of a shooter. I was 40 years old then, and
as my responsibilities grew.
Do you know there's like so many hardcore gamers that are 40 plus, right? I don't know. Maybe it was seen as weird at that point for someone 40 to be playing video games. I'm going to be 40 in like 3 years. Holy shit, what the fuck happened to my life?
I didn't have that kind of time or luxury. So I felt that at least getting to the maybe 2 or 3 hour mark was enough for a fair review.
You could probably almost knock out all the games within a couple of days.
In an hour, it's like, I get it. I don't think you're going to surprise me.
If that guy's really 80, not that guy, but the guy's, and he was 40, whatever, when he was working on it. Dude, if that guy's 80 years old to this day, that's a very fucking articulate, like, all the lights are still on, 80-year-old. I hope I'm still that, who's kidding who? That's not going to happen for me unless I stop drinking like tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. That's what you get, you guys. If you abstain from a life of drugs, alcohol, hookers, and cocaine, you will be as articulate and as with it as that gray-haired fellow there who took the pictures with the cone.
But it had to be a production copy because we didn't want anything to change from what our review was, from what...
I feel like after you turn like 70, I feel like you don't really you just always just kind of look 70 until you hit like age 100. Then your face just like sinks in and your like eyes are like sunking in, and then you look 100. But like from like 70 to like 100, I don't know. You kind of don't really age at that point after that.
A game player would actually have.
We did have one other issue where there was a game for the 3DO. It was a fighting game, and for the life of me, I cannot...
Way of the Warrior?
Yeah, Way of the Warrior. I called them up and I said, we'd like to review this. Is this a reviewable copy? And they said, yes, it was. We reviewed it and trashed it. And then all of a sudden they came back and said, no, that wasn't a reviewable copy. So we decided, okay, we'll re-review it. And they sent us a new copy. It's basically the same game that we had trashed, and we trashed it again. That was the only time we ever re-reviewed a game.
If they didn't like it, they could say what they wanted. I wouldn't change it. If they gave it a 3, they gave it a 3.
I think my low score was a 3, and it was Total Recall on the NES.
And that caused some controversy.
There was some fallout, for being that honest.
We trashed games. Companies pulled their ads.
Acclaim was very upset with us. They knew it was not a good game.
And what they said was, we don't like this review or whatever. And I would be like, well, this is the way the game is. This is what they feel about it. I'm not going to be ashamed.
Total Recall got slammed pretty much the hardest of any of the games during my time there.
That was one of the games that James Rolfe was like, it's ass. I gotta take a pee, and this doc's too good to waste anything on just you guys. I need to see it too. So if you listen real close, you might hear my very strong piss stream. That's a stream of a whole nother variety. Holy hell. Might as well, in hell I dwell. Splinter Cell. Yeah, really? 91 of you were hanging around while I was draining the lizard? Okay.
But they'd come back a couple months later because we were just that, a driving force in the industry and a place to advertise.
You had to be able to play whatever game they gave you, whether you liked it or not, and that was the hard part, especially with Game Boy games.
People remember Sushi X. You know, they remember that Sushi X was the fighting game guy and that he hated the Game Boy.
What's your deal with the Game Boy?
I hate it. It sucks.
So I remember this bit, and the original Game Boy, I 100% agree with like everything this guy's about to say about it. That's just me. So whatever he's about to say, I agree with.
And you'll never convince me otherwise. There's something about the green on green and the blurriness and everything else. It makes my eyes bleed, and I can't play those games. I just can't. It really honestly hurt my eyes to play these games. I likened those games a lot to those little watch games that you could play, right? The little LCD watch games. That's what it felt like to me when I was playing those games. And in fact, you could probably add 4 points to my score, to be honest, if it had played on better hardware. And in fact, if you played these same games on a Super NES converter to play your Game Boy games, you know, Super Game Boy, whatever, I like the games a lot better because it's not killing my eyes. It's not hurting me anymore. And I really feel like Nintendo, they milked that thing. I did everything I could to warn people away from it, but they didn't listen. They could have had color much sooner if they just listened and not bought that damn thing, but they did anyway. I actually have one that I will not turn on. And someday I'm gonna take that thing target practice shoot and just shoot that thing just because I hate that thing so much. I just hate it with a passion. And that's my own bias, and I admit that freely. And everybody who saw my scores knew that. I don't like it. I can't play your game on a potato. But I love the new Game Boys. I love them all. I've got all of them. The Game Boy SP is like my favorite system. I think of all of them. I love that little thing. It's so portable, it's smooth, it works exactly the way I would wanted it to work.
I mean, I agree. I have no notes on that critique. Yes, maybe it did kill his family.
Quarterman was another mysterious writer who wrote a column called Gaming Gossip, and it was little tidbits and little previews of things to come. No screenshots, just words.
Yeah, Quarterman's actually really interesting these days to go back to.
Quarterman was our publisher.
Written very obviously, in retrospect, by Steve Harris. And, you know, he sort of fed information by his moles.
There were a lot of sources.
Did you say fed information by his moles? Bro, why are you going to say a word like that when, like, one of the key interviewers has, like, a very pronounced mole right under his lip in the middle of his chin? I would say mole would be a no-fly word in this interview, given the main guy that you got going on there.
Had David Siller, who was out in California, and he had his ear to the ground there. He knew the game companies, he knew the production people.
There was so much good stuff in there.
I'd be getting him information from Japan. John would be getting other information.
Very much so.
He was the most well-connected person on our staff because he was the one that would be the liaison to the different publishers to get review copies in, preview copies in, talk about coverage and things like that. So he knew everybody.
Most of the companies kind of understood.
You know, I hate to say it, but that Asian guy's background looks exactly what I would expect. Exactly what I would expect it to look like.
Liaison to the different publishers to get review copies in, preview copies.
Okay. If I want to see an Asian guy, this is kind of the background that I'm expecting to see. Like no disappointments here. That's exactly what I would expect your background. Anyway, sorry.
And talk about coverage and things like that. So he knew everybody.
Most of the companies kind of understood what we were. They either had to be really hush-hush about anything they had going on, or they just had to accept the fact that we're going to try and get it out there first.
We'd give Steve a whole list of things, and he would take them and turn them into his magic of Quarterman.
There's just wild stuff in there that you don't see anywhere else. Like, that is the only place, as far as I know, that information exists. Can we count that as legitimate information? It was a Quarterman gossip column? I don't know, but it's like, it's at least a starting point toward, like, investing.
I wonder if they started that whole, like, Mortal Kombat nudity code. I know everybody who's around my age, mid to late 30s, you all know of this. The Mortal Kombat, it was like either Mortal Kombat 1, I think it was Mortal Kombat 2, the nudity code, the supposed nudity code, where they'd all be naked. Yeah, it was an urban legend. It wasn't true, but yeah, that shit floated around like schoolyards like crazy. And then you'd have to think, I mean, aside from Sonya, like, who else would you really want to see naked? Well, I guess you had Katana and Molina, and later on you had Jade, but I mean, but then you got to deal with the dongers, you know, and then you got Jax, who's in the game, and, you know, you got that big fucking black mamba shaking around. Would they add shaking animations to the cocks and the balls? Johnny Cage shoots that weird green thing from seemingly his knee, but maybe it came out of his cock, for all we know. The whole get over here thing takes on different context if Scorpion's naked and forcing a naked woman towards him. It's a whole red tape of quagmire and discord. Not the app, just the actual meaning of the word.
I don't know if anybody else picked up some of that after he moved on.
It was Chris Johnston. On my first day at EGM in 1994, they handed me a couple of notes and said, hey, you want to write the Quarterman column? I thought, doesn't Quarterman write the Quarterman column? I guess part of it was good because I'd read so many gaming gossips in my time. I knew the voice of Quarterman. I knew how to write that. So it was no problem for me to just whip that out using notes that, like, Steve had basically like.
What kind of shit do you think that guy's got on the top of his refrigerator? I don't like the for as old as he is, the layout of his house looks like a bachelor who's like, he's got like a, I don't know, like a 1-bedroom apartment. Like a studio where just like everything's pretty much like connected, you know, the living room, kitchen, it's all just one, you know, whole ass thing there. What do he's got up there? Robitussin? No, I think it's some kind of supplements. I think it's what is HRT? No, that's that's if he's trying to become a woman. TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, Viagra, that's a possibility. I was gonna go there. What about on the shelf there by the oven? It's like some water, maybe bottles of water. You see how I make these documentaries so much more interesting by my input that you would only get from me.
Just given these pages of notes to Ed, and Ed was giving them to me. Some of the stuff you put in Quarterman wasn't necessarily true because you needed to fill space. and it might have been wishful thinking sometimes.
There's probably a lot of garbage in Quarterman, but there's probably a lot of things that would turn out to be true if you dug into them that don't exist anywhere else but those columns.
But anytime you read his column, it was a fun read.
This is literally the beginning of like all Trailer
We had
Park
us.
Boys episodes.
And we had Game Fan. You had Game Players, which is
Rectal ease. Sorry, I just saw that as far as what he might have on his shelf. Rectal ease. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Who? I don't know.
based out of another major company which publishes other magazines. You had video games and computer entertainment. And you had GamePro, which was published by another major company.
We knew about everybody else. We knew about GamePro.
Oh boy, that's a loaded question.
I really just wanted to see what they had versus what we had.
That dude looks like if Goldberg and Stone Cold Steve Austin fucked and had a butt baby, it looked like Trickman Minish. Terry Trickman Minish. It's like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like fucking out of shape brother. And Goldberg somehow in there too. Goldberg, the Jewish wrestler who never lost a match for like the first year that he was out. A Jewish wrestler who just dominated physically. Man, the late 90s were some wild times indeed.
You know, like
anything went.
On the same month, I'd be like, okay, here's a January issue, here's ours. What do they have?
I really enjoyed video games and computer entertainment. I loved Nintendo Power as a kid. I wasn't a huge fan of GamePro.
Our major competitor that I looked at was GamePro. GamePro had a ton of money. They had good circulation. They could get their magazines out in quantity anywhere and everywhere.
GamePro seemed a little more family-oriented.
Sort of understood that GamePro was the kindest of the reviewers, was more enthusiastic, and was for a little bit for a younger audience than maybe EGM was.
I wouldn't say I didn't pay much attention to them, but it's not like they struck me as saying, this is who we were. They were just kind of an entity that was there.
We were after the hardcore gamers, the other magazines. They were after more of the younger generation who just didn't have that much of a passion for the video games.
I really think is that we were gamers first. We loved video games, and we played video games with all our heart. We were writers second.
You could tell just from the way layouts were done, the wording, even though it was very juvenile, and yeah, there were spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes.
Oh God, I loved the sample CDs. That was like such a great way to get you turned on to a game that you like normally probably wouldn't have fucked with. Like I think I got into so many, like especially like Dreamcast. Sega was like really heavy on the sample CDs. In Xbox, I remember Halo had the first Halo game had a sample game on it. It was like a party game. And it was a lot of fun. It was a demo. God, I love demo discs. I'm sure there's been a million gaming channels that have done whole ass videos dedicated to demo discs, but that was such a great way to like convey your game in like the easiest way possible. Here's this free demo disc, but you only get to play like, a minute, 2 minutes. It just lets you know if you're gonna probably like the game or not. Shit, I wish I could. I don't know. Maybe they have demos now still. I don't know. I forgot all about the demo disc.
We're not really journalists, but we like games. So here's all the games just barfed out on a page for you.
We would laugh when they would make typos in their magazines. Like the biggest one, the most egregious one ever was when they did Streets of Rage 3 on the cover. It said Streets of Rage, but Streets had 3 E's in it.
I always find it like unbelievable when like actual magazines like have typos. Like I subscribe to this magazine called The Week, and it's like basically like a Reader's Digest of like news, entertainment, just basically anything and everything. But it's more like news oriented. And I find typos in that magazine all the time. And I just thought like maybe nowadays, like with like modern methods of, there's all kinds of different ways you can like dictate and all that. Like I thought maybe that was it, but yeah, I guess even back then they had typos. Like it's always like crazy to me when I find a typo in an actual printed magazine, like in a legitimate one, like not like some zine or some shit that's like local. Like that shit's crazy to me.
They had forgotten to put an April Fool's joke in, and they said that was the joke. The typo on the cover is the joke, and of course, that was not the case. That was not meant to be a joke at all.
The idea that you would go out with a typo on the cover was sort of like inconceivable to us.
We were just learning. We were pioneering.
I wasn't too worried about GamePro because I thought it had a different audience.
GamePro seemed to evolve a little bit as time went on, where they seemed to be trying to hit an older audience. Their graphics seemed to change in the magazine.
What can you tell us about the GamePro sex controversy?
Yes, GamePro sucks.
It was an anagram that was in issue 21, I believe, in the Atari supplement, in the first paragraph on Cyberball.
So when I was doing the Cyberball layout, I think I had been working probably 48 hours at the time. It just kind of popped in my head at one time, what if I did this? This is just kind of fun. So I just started, laying out the sentences so that the first character of each sentence would spell out GamePro sucks. Didn't think anything of it. I didn't even really tell anybody until it was after the fact. When somebody actually found it, I was like, ooh, crap.
There was a memo issued to the industry and apologized and everything, and said that the person who did it was like...
Why would you even apologize for that? Just be like, yeah, bro, you're like looking too deep into shit. Like that was like a coincidence. Like full stop. That was a coincidence. You're looking too deeply into shit. Like I don't know. Like that's weird that they would have like went that far to like do that.
So
honestly, it got a laugh, I think, from everybody at the office. They were kind of laughing about it, even Steve did. And he might have been somewhat upset, but he was laughing too much to really do anything. So I think he made up some story that I got fired, but obviously I didn't.
Summed up your thoughts of GamePro at the time, right? I mean,
I didn't write it.
It was a joke, we never really thought GamePro actually legit sucked or anything. We were just like, they weren't us, so we were the best. We would tout as much jokingly among ourselves.
We actually liked GamePro. It was a fun rivalry kind of thing. So it was in fun. It wasn't like really a malicious thing.
It was always more of a friendly rivalry than anything else.
It was pretty much Sushi X being Sushi X.
The one I think that was more contentious was Die Hard Game Fan. There was some interesting things that...
Die Hard Game Fan? I never heard of that magazine.
What happened with them?
Game Fan had a history with EGM. They started as advertising their stores, and then they became a competing magazine.
We actually had a good working relationship with Die Hard, the game company, when they were selling stuff there. And eventually Dave Halverson called us and he said, I'm getting sick of these guys. I'm sick of dealing with them. Thinking about possibly joining you guys. So what do you guys do for, like what's your workflow and stuff like that? It's like, oh yeah, well, we do this, we're taking screenshots there. It's like, okay, yeah, we can work with you on that. So yeah, if you want to come over and be an editor with us, yeah, we use this type of card to take the screenshots. We use Quark Express and Photoshop and everything. It's like, okay, that's good. Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that. And it was like silence for like a month. We're like, all right, I guess that's not gonna happen. And that's when suddenly Thunk Die Hard Game Fan showed up. And we're like, oh my goodness, you really did that, huh?
Game Fan, they were kind of like us pushing the envelope.
I always respected Game Fan for keeping up with us and having, in my opinion, they had better image quality. I always wanted to know their secret.
Our two magazines, we both had the same philosophy. Get the information first. If ever there were problems or reasons that I'd be pulling out what little hair I had, is that they would be able to get the information at the same time. They ran on same short production schedules. Being an independent company, doing things their way, they can also cut corners. We had probably better circulation. That maybe gave us the drive to keep going, to do better and faster.
Every magazine sort of had a different approach, and I think for me, EGM's was my favorite back then. And as an historian now, I find EGM's to be the most valuable approach because they would report on weird garbage that nobody else would report on. Ed's obsession with getting photographs of everything really colored the tone of the magazine, and ultimately I think set it apart from everybody else.
All right then, there you go.
Oh, the EGM April Fool's joke. This is a good one.
I wish I could take some credit for that. I can't.
Let's just say I was fooling around with Photoshop, learning how to use selection tools, and there were no layers back then. So I was just toying around with Castlevania and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I made a spliced image. I'm like, hey, check this out. I'm like, let's do an April Fool's joke, you know, a fake code or whatever. And the Simon Belmont trick was our first April Fool's joke.
I would say if there's one person who really got into that, would be Ken Williams.
Ken was the guy who, he was in the corner and he was always hunched over working, and people would say, like, don't bother Ken, he'll kill you.
The one I'm most known for is the Shenlong trick in Street Fighter 2. That was kind of a by accident thing, and there was a collaborative effort that eventually went into that.
I would have to say when Street Fighter 2 became a thing, there was a lot of competition in the office.
I didn't play Street Fighter 2. Everybody in the office played Street Fighter 2. It was a phenomenon.
Ken Williams and Howard Grossman, probably two of the best players that I know.
It was one of those games that when I saw it first in the arcade and I saw the whole you must defeat Shenlong to stand a chance, at first I was like, who's this Shenlong? Just like everybody else, right? And I realized it was just a translation error. No big deal, just means Dragon Punch, got it, perfect. But that's not gonna stop me from playing to that fantasy and thinking in my head, I'm like, you know, we've been doing a lot of cutouts lately, and I'm like, what if we did this? What if we did this? And what if I actually made a real boss character?
He would say, hey man, I need your help. I'm trying to take the screenshot where these two guiles are flashing.
Then you don't have to watch, sir, if you find this boring.
And I know you're not going to bother me with all the stupid questions about the game because you don't play it. So can you help me? I was like, yeah, sure.
You can go
dude.
literally watch
I don't know how to
anything
play
else
it.
you want
He's like,
right
I'll show
now.
you. And I
You don't have to watch
started
this.
to understand the appeal of the game.
Well, let's just create some fake animation. So I did a little screenshot, changed a little coloring on it and like that. I think I just started busting out laughing. So then we all kind of like threw some ideas into the air.
And I remembered that Vega, or M. Bison, if you prefer the American name, had his Fierce Punch had like one frame of animation where it had like a flame on it. Wouldn't it be cool if you took that flame off of cut that off and added it, like his Dragon Punch has flames on it? And he's like, oh, that's awesome, and then he put that on.
Oh yeah, this is kind of sorry, spoilers here. They were suggesting that they were kind of responsible for the creation of the Akuma character, which is one of my mains on Marvel vs. Capcom, or I guess Street Fighter Alpha or whatever. So yeah, I find this story interesting.
It was just for fun. It was purely for fun, and then it just so happened it was April Fool's month, and we hadn't come up with a trick, and we're like, look, this will be perfect for this.
I remember seeing screenshots in these like video game magazines, and like some shit would be off or like would not look anything like the actual game. I'm like, what version did they play? And that always like tripped me out. From what little recollections I have of like reading these game magazines, like every now and then you'd see like a screenshot that looked completely different. I just always chalked it up to like, oh, that was the beta build of the game, and they got early access because they're, you know, in bed with the gaming industry or whatever. But no, like apparently they just like made shit up using Photoshop, like early primitive versions of Photoshop, which is interesting to me.
It was really long and convoluted, and we didn't think anybody would take it seriously, but we had to do it to where it sounded like you could. Probably the best thing to this whole thing was that the actual contest was on the page of the trick. That was like, it was like, it's so dumb. There's no way they'd fall for it, but yes, so many people did. I think it really came home when we saw Japanese magazines or Chinese magazines. They copied the trick as if it was real, and we were like, yes.
You get letters.
People who said, I actually did this and it didn't work.
I did get a lot of angry letters that came like straight to me just because it was in my section too. Like, how dare you? I went through so many quarters.
Stone Cold Steve Goldberg.
It just became like a viral sensation like before the internet. Like it went nuts.
How do I do this? It was in EGM, it's gotta be real.
Somebody came in one day where they're like, dude, you have to hear
That guy looks like if he like dyed his beard like dark, he would look like 26 years old. Like the only thing that gives that guy's age away is the fact that he's got the salt and pepper beard going on. He still looks pretty fucking young. Like half these dudes look like they could like just make like a gaming YouTube channel and probably be successful these days. With they could pull the whole Metal Jesus thing and be like, I worked at Sierra Games. Hey, did you guys know I worked at Sierra Games? Back when I worked at Sierra Games. Hey, by the way, hey, are you listening? Hey, I worked at Sierra Games. Hey, Metal Jesus here. Back when I worked at Sierra Games. Hey, look at all these Sierra Games I have. I collect Sierra Games because he used to work there. Oh, this is my voice on Sierra Games. There's Drunken Master Paul. He's also in a Sierra Games thing. Sierra Games!
Capcom's voicemail. So they picked up the phone and put it on speakerphone, the office phone, and dialed up Capcom. Hello, thank you for calling Capcom USA. If you're inquiring about the Shenlong code, please call EGM at blah, blah, blah.
That was just another reason for them to really get mad at us.
We were just like, yes! We hit the big time, dude. Even Capcom's voicemail has, oh, they hate us. It's great.
It was the best pulling the wool over the industry's eyes that we've ever seen. When we thought it couldn't get any better, then Akuma came around. And then we're like, that's the guy. That's the Shenlong. That's him. He's right there. They liked it so much they created a character behind it. They'll never admit it, but you know it is. It's one of those unspoken things.
An undeniable mark on pop culture, man. It's crazy. To this day, I joke with everyone. Every time we're playing Street Fighter 2 and somebody picks Ken and does that flaming dragon punch, I'm like, that's me.
Because I was goofing around with Photoshop, we pretty much invented the April Fool's joke in EGM. Making the deadlines was probably the most challenging part of the whole job because it was grueling. As we launched sister magazines,
Sendai had EGM, and then they start spinning off. They have a magazine that's just about Sega games called Mega Play. Super NES Buyer's Guide starts in like 91 or something like that.
There was a Turbo Force one that I actually worked with. I was like one of the few people on there, the staff who actually loved TurboGrafx.
In 92, I think it is, they bring back Electronic Games, the 80s magazine, but rebranded as a Sendai publication. Computer Game Review starts in like 92, which is PC game focused.
Super Gaming, the international magazine.
In like 94, EGM2 starts.
Japan was always our influence. It was the Famitsu magazine. And they'd be out bi-weekly. And Steve would often say, if only we could go out and be bi-weekly. We could make it every 2 weeks, but on the downside, that means EGM is out only for 2 weeks. Okay, let's just make a second magazine. Oh, what do we call it? Oh, finally settled on.
Did you guys know that Mario 2 for the NES was originally a game called Doki Doki Panic?
EGM2. Each magazine would stay on the shelf for a full month because you're not replacing one with a newer one. It's a whole different magazine.
And I think at one point you have at least 6 Sendai monthly or bi-monthly video game magazines happening on top of like annual specials. Sendai's like flooding the market.
I worked on all of those at the same time in a given.
Did you know that in Japan, Mega Man's actually called Rockman? It's not even called Mega Man.
Month.
Well, we can just see if we can get more profits. Yeah, but we'll just have, same people, double the work. And that's when it started to get a little bit stressful.
So we just kept doing it. So we went right from one to the other to the other.
Okay, EGM's done. Oh, Mega Play's deadline is now.
But we were super proud of the work that we put out.
2 weeks EGM, 2 weeks EGM2, and then in somewhere in between we had to do Mega Play, SNES Buyer's Guide, and all the other like special stuff that we did. That was killing us.
If you did a fact file for EGM, they would say, okay, now we need a page for Super NES Buyer's Guide. So you would take that fact file, you would change the colors of the background a little bit, you would move some of the pictures around, and you would change where it says Electronic Gaming Monthly on the bottom to Super NES Buyer's Guide, and then that was a page in Super NES Buyer's Guide.
Cerebral P in the chat wants you guys to know that he's proud to say he's watching this while driving, not paying attention to the road. That's awesome. What's fucking epic? I'd rather see that live stream, honestly. Just someone watching something on a phone and just not even giving a fuck about the road anymore. Whatever happens, happens, with the car. And whatever's in front of you or whatever, whether it be road, trees, people. I don't know. You live in Canada, so what, like bison or buffalo or caribou, dicks. Have you guys seen a dick? They're like little deer. Obviously, it's a hilarious name, so I'm going to bring it up.
Things got kind of messy when like all of those were going on.
There was actually a point where we were literally debating on talking about doing a walkout. We are dying here. Steve Harris had to interfere and eventually said, okay, we are splitting the staffs. I had to tell Ed, we are splitting the staffs.
I ran it for a while, but at a point, it just got to, I said no.
I think Ed was just very reluctant to split the staffs because I think he just didn't want to release control of it.
Steve and I said, let's give it to Howard, and Howard became the editor of EGM2. We then had 2 staffs, and each one would be doing their own work independently, and we, in effect, became bi-weekly.
On our staff of EGM2, there was some angst against some of the EGMers, but definitely we all got along.
We always would go back and forth. He wants to run it first on EGM2, and I'd say, no, EGM's the big seller.
No.
Did you guys know that Mario 2 in Japan was a game called Doki Doki Panic?
No, it's actually okay. It's not gonna they're not gonna take away from EGM or anything like that. When we would create all these, try to do these like inserts and beautiful things for EGM2, they would just eventually take those ideas and put them into EGM. And we were getting like really frustrated with that.
That's where we get our circulation, we'll hold it off for EGM.
So eventually we just kind of just stuck to doing strategy guides and kept at that and trying not to do too many of the like ideas that we wanted because we knew they would get stolen and put in EGM. Nothing against the EGM staff, this was actually more higher up above them, so it's not against Dan Shu.
I can't speak for the other magazines if they felt a certain way.
I don't know if it was too much, because I mean, they were only putting out what the advertising supported. And I think EGM was quick to chop a magazine if it didn't work. Super Gaming is an example. Super Gaming was EGM's attempt at a magazine that only covered Japanese import games.
Did you guys know that Doki Doki Panic in Japanese means bathtub girl? The meme.
What American game publisher is going to advertise in a magazine that only shows Japanese import games?
It didn't last very long, and we only did 4 of those.
They certainly overextended their staff, but maybe not the product.
You know I'm old for mentioning bathtub girl, right?
Surprisingly, it's a rather unstructured environment. We didn't have to get anything done until one deadline at the end of the month. So it's up to you and all these irresponsible young guys trying to figure out, okay, well, I got to do this. I got to play this game.
I know Japanese so well that it sounds like that guy's speaking English. That's just how good of Japanese that I know. You guys don't know this about me. I don't tell you everything about my personality. And I know you've been reading subtitles this whole time whenever they show this guy, but like literally when he talks, like I'm here, like I understand Japanese so well, it's like he's basically speaking English. So like, it's crazy to have my kind of brain, to have my kind of aptitude, but that's how it goes when you're me.
I write this article, but
oh, the fuck was that noise? Sorry.
I have 3 more weeks to get this done, so things are going to start going off the rails pretty fast.
Yeah. Sometimes
he even has an like when I hear him, he even has an American accent. Like that's how crazy. Like I can transcribe shit like that.
Sometimes there were laser tag fights and Nerf guns. Things would come out of drawers and get thrown across the room. And
we would play this game called Decapitato. The idea.
Oh, there was the guy that someone said he had on the top of his refrigerator there. He has rectal ease. that was one of my more favorite comments of the night in the chat.
Would be you get on one or the other side of the hallway and then whip this frisbee thing down the hall and try to decapitate the people. There were a lot of marks on the walls, a lot of dents in the cabinets and things like that.
If you just walked into the office and you just listened for a moment, you would just hear the sounds of games going on.
And the biggest problem, I think, is when great video games start coming in, especially multiplayer ones, then that's a complete distraction for everyone involved. This happened with Soul Calibur.
So he's talking about it being a complete distraction. He's dropping the name Soul Calibur. This is for anybody who can't read kanji. Basically, I'm translating right now what this guy's saying.
This happened with Street Fighter games,
It happened with Street
Mario
Fighter
Kart,
games, Mario
anything
Kart.
that was very competitive. Halo was
Anything
terrible
was very
for
competitive.
us.
Halo was very
16-player
terrible
Halo
for us.
on deadline.
You're welcome.
All of a sudden, you realize I just spent the last 2 hours playing Halo.
I can't tell you what he said just then. That's some fucked up shit that would not fly in English. So I'll leave that to your imagination.
And not doing other work, and then you're behind.
Yeah, I think a lot of readers of EGM probably imagine.
Oh, someone's watching from Venezuela. Sorry about the U.S. government. I had nothing to do with any of that over there, so sorry. And I disagree with it, I think. So let me just hit the play button and stop talking.
That working EGM was like a dream job. Yeah, like that you could sit in an office and play video games all day. The games that weren't even going to be out for like 3 months.
We took kids out of high school, but they could play games. These guys could, their unbelievable reflexes.
We're all on equal playing grounds because this is a new game to all of us. So the competitions were incredible because you're facing off against people who are learning and scaling.
Okay, so basically this guy is saying some like really hateful shit against the West right now. I won't translate it for you because I just don't feel like it's appropriate, but just know it's fucked up. And I mean, I don't know. Omnipotent as I am, I feel like it's hard for me to even hear the kind of things that he's saying right now in Japanese.
Up and leveling up at the same time.
They go out and to arcades and movies and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, we did have to kind of just blow off steam every once in a while.
And you get to, I don't know, hang out with Sushi X or whatever.
Some of the things that these guys would do, and I say these guys because I almost never was involved in it, the things they would do to blow off steam was just hysterical and sometimes annoying. I'm talking about you, Ray.
Every hour, Ken's Mac would play the boss theme from Streets of Rage.
I didn't goof around a lot at the office. I just kind of sat in my little corner. People left me alone because they thought I was evil, and man.
What are we watching? This is how the Peter Steele issue of Playgirl magazine, how they composed that, and how they managed to fit his long donger on the centerfold there. That's basically a documentary about that one particular issue.
At it all the time because I have resting bitch face.
The reality was it was way more work than I expected. And I don't know why I thought...
There's a surprising lack of women in this. I figured this would be full of women of various ethnicities and, varieties and all that shit. And yeah, it's all just like white guys. What's that all about? I honestly didn't even notice that there weren't any women or like black people. Like I'm just like, yeah, these all look like my like old uncles or my friends' uncles or dads or whatever. This is all normal to me. Everything's fine. And then someone pointed out, I was like, oh yeah, there's like not a single like not fucking pasty faced person in this whole thing. I don't know, whatever. That's my default culture, I guess. If you put my culture on default, it's I guess it's dudes like these. Though I'm a hint of mocha in there. It's the Italiano. It's the only reason that I'm allowed to insult Rich and pat the NES punk. Call them fucking fake Italians and call them wops and shit like that. Because I got that card. The Italian card.
And probably a lot of us had it in our heads that someone else handled all the business, and we would just play the games. But it was a wake-up call. It was a pretty fast wake-up call.
The hours can get a little long, so they do kind of crush your own non-work life a little bit.
We didn't have any work hours. Never could even imagine saying, okay, we're working 9 to 5. It was a full day. After that, then we'd get back in, start playing the games, do the reviews. It was hectic. Midnight to 6 a.m. would just disappear because we're sitting there playing the games.
We were putting together, sometimes up to a 300-page magazine every month, and there's a lot of work that goes into that.
All right, guys. So a lot of people talk shit about people who vape, say vaping's gay or vaping's like retarded or whatever the hell, but Tell me what's gay or stupid about this. Now you see me. Now you don't. Fog of war, bitch. Ugh. Yeah, it's badass. Look at how badass. This looks like a fucking car, dude. Looks like I can get in this car and go. Tell me what's gay about that.
There's definitely some painful nights where I remember where working till 2, 3 in the morning. It was easier just to sleep under the desk for a few hours than wake up at 7, 8 a.m. to start working again because the deadline was approaching and you had no choice.
That's just
I don't have the fucking vape
they
whistle
were.
in
They
here.
had to get the work
But I gotta pee anyway. All right, I'm gonna let this play. I'm gonna grab the whistle. I'll be right back.
done, and they enjoyed what they were doing. I know they really liked what they were doing.
It didn't feel like work. That was the part of the fantasy that still was true.
We gave them a good salary. They loved what they did. They worked whatever hours were necessary because they knew what the product had to be. They wanted to be the best.
Like every day I couldn't wait to get up and go to work. I never had to drag myself out of bed.
There were a lot of opportunities and stuff that I think we missed. As a group, we all went through a lot of challenges in life just because we let work kind of take. Work became our life, and we kind of all grew up together too. So it was kind of like a little mini family.
I cared a lot about them, and they all were very devoted. The one thing which I was very, very worried about, I wanted them to make something of themselves. You can't count on this forever, and some went out and they're running IT departments. They're doing very well. I wish the best for everybody, and hopefully everybody's out doing what they love.
In '96, EGM gets sold to Ziff Davis Media, and Ziff Davis takes over editorial on it.
I had heard a rumor that Steve was looking to sell the company, and I went to him and I said, hearing this rumor that you're looking to sell, is there any truth to this? No, don't worry about it. It's just rumors. Don't worry about it.
Nobody knew that the sale was coming.
Okay, I keep hearing the same rumors. Steve, you sure there's nothing going on? Nothing's going on.
I still remember the very day where I walked in and I knew something was up because everybody was congregated in one area talking, and Ed Semrad was there talking with them. And he was talking as if he was one of the people. This is very unusual for Ed. And right there I knew something was up, something was different.
Steve was the boss. He knew what the financials were.
I'm just thinking, why would you sell off something that's your baby like that? I didn't understand the concept behind it. It's like, were we not making money? Or is it just you wanted to make more money? You wanted to do something different? It was just very sudden. It was very
It's back.
hard,
The whistle's back.
We all knew it had to happen sometime. He was just one person.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, the vape whistle. Here we go. So stupid. God, that was so dumb.
Running a huge magazine.
I think he just wanted to just make a ton of money, just go and do something else with it.
Well, we were all kind of frightened that we would, that everything would change into our corporate environment.
And then they brought several of the people in to talk to us about the magazine. They were actually very courteous at the time. It was John Lane and a couple other people.
They come in, hey, don't worry, everybody's going to keep their job. Everything's going to be exactly the same. We're just going to take over, and you guys are going to be great. Everything's going to be fine.
For a while, you still see the same names from old EGM.
They had to keep us employed to a certain amount. That was part of the contract.
As that transition sort of keeps happening, you start seeing some of the older
I think this is probably when I fell asleep, and I understand why. It is getting kind of boring, I'm not going to lie.
names getting replaced.
Oh, Cerebral P says, I made it to the bar safe. Let's do a shot. You made it to the bar? And we're doing a shot? I mean, I ain't no bitch. I'll do a fucking shot. But I thought it was I made it back home from the bar. You, sir, must not be all that concerned with Canadian drinking and driving laws, DUIs and whatnot, or do they call them DWIs. Or you could be cringy like Anthony Cumia and call them Deweys. Or Deweys. Yeah, he calls them Deweys. Oh, God, how cringe is that? Cheers, cerebral palsy. Oh, God, I was not ready for that. That almost went up through my nose. Damn it. Well, whatever.
By newer people.
It didn't really impact us that much in the beginning. It just felt like, okay, it was very much business as usual. There was no sort of, no corporate entities or suits that would come in and say, now you have to start doing this and this.
Based on the stories that I heard, I think the real transition when Ziff Davis bought Sendai was a professional work environment. As professional as it could be with a bunch of 20-something idiots.
During the Sendai years, it was like very much hobbled together.
The stories I was hearing about the Lombard office, it was like a shanty town. Chris Johnston used to talk about, I think the desk he sat at was a door on top of 2 filing cabinets.
I didn't have a computer at all for the first couple months.
We were sharing these external drives to transfer files around because there weren't enough to go around. We did notice after some time more money coming in to help support us. Like our computers were getting better.
We now are getting into a company that's more a part of a larger company type format, where it's like a GamePro, it's like a Game Players, it's like a VGCE. I sat down with John Wayne, we talked. What I understand is that they went out to introduce themselves to all of the game companies. Hey, we just bought the magazine. What do you think of this, this, and this? Well,
they gave me a pretty glowing review. John's really good. He keeps up with things. When they started asking about Ed, it was kind of a mixed bag. You know, some people liked him, some people didn't. But that's to be expected when you're in a position the way he was, having to keep up with all the information and run things when they maybe didn't want you to.
It's quite possible that not everybody spoke favorably of me. We talked about it, and hey, it's business. So they found an editor. Didn't he come from England? He became the editor-in-chief.
Oi, mate, from the sunny country of England.
Which still gave me a lot of things to do. I had all the international travel in that, and even more. And after that, I said, okay, that's it. I went back to technical writing. I worked for Abbott Labs.
And then about a year later, they decided that the amount of work I was doing and the salary I was making, they could spread it around a little bit differently, and they decided that it was time for me to part ways.
When he left, that struck a huge chord with me. Yeah, I'm now the eldest employee. Now I'm the legacy? I'm the one holding the torch?
I think it lost that spark that it had in the old days. I don't know how much of that is actually Ziff Davis' fault. I suspect that it's more that the landscape of how we talked about games was changing, even back then, even 96. 95, 96, you have magazines like Next Generation coming out that are taking a much more serious approach to reporting on video games. I think the Ziff Davis acquisition changed EGM in fundamental ways, and it maybe lost its voice for a little while, but then it gained a new voice. I think that once EGM found its new voice, it found a new audience, and is also worth remembering and examining just as a different publication.
Ziff Davis eventually moved us to a nicer office with proper cubicles.
By the time I got there, we were at the office in Oak Brook, and it was much more professional. It was all set cubicles. The 3 magazines were in very specific places.
Even there were times where we would do things that might kind of destroy things around the office or put holes in walls. It didn't feel like that was a big...
You guys want to hear a song that I did a parody of a long time ago about buttholes? We can do it as like a little intermission here just to break up the monotony of whatever this is. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. All right, let me get that on deck here.
Deal in the Sydney days because things are such a mess.
This is real, like we're professional now.
So there was actually 2 moves.
About a year later, they announced that they were shutting down that office and moving all of us to California, to the San Francisco offices.
They set this ominous company-wide meeting one morning without any warning of what it was going to be. So a lot of us went in there thinking we were going to get fired. And then they stood up there in front of us and said, no, we're moving to San Francisco. We're moving the whole office to San Francisco.
And that was awesome and rough at the same time because you're asking people to uproot. A lot of the people with families or who grew up around the area could not make it.
So that made it less exciting. I'm a little biased here, but I feel like the team we had at EGM in the early 2000s was we were killing it. It was such a perfectly balanced team. We worked together so well. We all got along together so well.
If you agreed to go, they were gonna pay for all your moving expenses and help you get a place and all of that. So I jumped at that chance. I thought it was great.
First few months of that were hell. So at this point, I was the editor-in-chief of the magazine, and I had to kind of keep my shit together to keep the magazine together.
Now, when we got out to San Francisco, we ended up doing a few hires that, really worked out. I mean, Brian Intihar was a hire when we moved out there. Shane Bettenhausen was a hire when we moved out there. So, I mean, we got back up to speed pretty fast.
Luckily, I hired Jennifer Sal, who was an amazing managing editor. She had experience. She used to work at Next Gen magazine. So she was able to walk right into this and kind of help get things done for us.
And that idea of we're going to get all this work done in a 9-to-5 space or as close to it as we can was an extremely positive change. That was a big push from Dan Shu. We somehow did it. We changed this magazine where it was like, yeah, everybody kind of lived and breathed and slept the magazine, and we changed it into a much more 9-to-5 centric job, and it was great to be part of that.
In my opinion, and maybe this is the opinion of many people, once it went corporate, it just didn't have the soul of when it was Sendai Publications.
He was, I forget, the editorial director of the whole thing at that time. He said he wanted EGM to become the Rolling Stones of video games.
Okay, 56:26, that's where we're at here. We got a little intermission going on here. Sorry. It's very immature and not funny and stupid and cringe, but it's something I made a few years back. And I this is not even uploaded to my main profile. I had to upload this on another alt account because it's just so cringe. There's this Blanco Brown song called like The Get Down, and it had a whole dance and shit. It was like a TikTok trend for like 7 months. And I guess I just had this kind of time back then. So I made my own little parody of it. And so here's my masterpiece. Yeah, I'm on TikTok all day. Just looking at them girls twerking in those booty shorts. Oh God, yeah, it's hot. I got one thing I want to say to all them girls. I wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh. Wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, your butt, oh, yeah. Pajama shorts are my favorite, makes me wanna see your stink hole. Girl, I love the way you shake it, makes me wanna rub my beanpole. Girl, don't be shy now, just sit on my face. Don't give me no coochie, just give me that bass. I wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh. Wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, wanna see your butt, oh, your butt, oh, your butt, oh, yeah. Now I'm at your pool party, there are so many swimsuits. Look at all these bodies, all these healthy poop shoots. Look at all these starfish swimming round my face. If your hole gets too close to me, I'ma give it a taste. I wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Yeah, wholesale. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole, your butthole. Yeah. I'm a dirty old man. 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 I'm in love with your can. Let me smell my hand and make you understand. Your anus is enticing. Your cornhole is inviting. Your fart box is delighting me, and it's making me stiff. I wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. I'm sorry, this is hurting even me, and I made the fucking thing, and it's like hurting me. It's damage. I'm taking like HP damage right now, like negative 12, negative 12, negative 12. Your butthole, yeah. Let me give it a whiff. Let me give it a whiff. Your turd slicer make my life a lot nicer. I know life is a riddle. Show me that purple skittle. Let me get a whiff. Let me get a lick. I wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butt. Wanna see your butthole, your butthole, your butthole. Yeah. Well, that was that. That was that thing that happened. I'm embarrassed right now. Oh, I'm actively embarrassed. No, that's fine. No, that's my masterpiece, and I fucking stand by it. It's just as good as fucking Art of Apathy or Magazine or Audacity or 7 Years of Broken Mirrors. Just it stands up to those songs, just in a different fucking way. Thank you for all the little bits and pieces of that. Well, shit. Hold on. Before I make that link available, let me make sure there's no weird shit on. I think I cleaned this page. No, I don't want you knowing. I don't want you guys knowing about my alt account. You'll just have to like clip this from the live stream, and that's no. I'm going down a bad road once you start knowing about my alt accounts. Everybody has them. It's normal. It's normal to be a growing boy and have alt accounts. Everybody has alt accounts. All right, going back to the original. I'm sorry that this documentary will not live up to the Butthole song. Boy, do I know my audience. I tell you what. 5626. Bleh. Bleh.
He was, I forget, the editorial director of the whole thing at that time.
No, big fucking truck. I'm proud to have that on my channel, but the Butthole song, it couldn't live on there. Although it seems to be a hit anytime I play it. I think it's because I was very raw and vulnerable in that song, because I was, only a man who truly loves buttholes would be able to write those kind of lyrics, would be able to drop those kind of bars with that kind of passion. So there's that. It's a parody, though. Another song by Blanco Brown called The Get Down. It exists. You know what? Let me show you that shit. I know it's not music video night, but I'll show you it's the Get Up, sorry. This fucking song, goddamn. Cringe Festival. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So you guys can tell me which one you like more. I'm going to get copyright for this, but whatever. I'll just delete it after the fucking live stream's over. So if you're not live, you won't see this video that I'm about to talk about. It's just gonna cut to me after this video if you watch the VOD. But if you're here live now, you're gonna hear it. This was the inspiration that I took the parody from.
Right now, I just need you to get real loose. Get comfortable. Grab your loved ones, or grab your love partner. And if you're by yourself, no worries. Just follow after me. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. And lean back, put your hips in it. Let's have some fun. To the left now. To the right. Now take your left hand and put it on your side. Gonna roll your shoulders, do the slip and slide. This next part's my favorite part, cause it's time to shine. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gonna throw down, take a sip with it. And lean back, put your hips in it. It's simple.
Yes, I figured my audience would not like the original at all whatsoever. I honestly feel like my butthole version is a lot more authentic because, like, you know, I really do like girls' buttholes a lot. So, you know, there's that part. There's the heart, the authenticity. But I did feel like, you know, you did need to hear the original for like 60 seconds. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like mine's the better song. It's more authentic to me and who I am and what I'm all about. And yeah, so you know, Bob Dylan wrote All Along the Watchtower, and then Jimi Hendrix covered it, and then the Jimi Hendrix version became the way more popular version because though Dylan is a poet, Jimi Hendrix just brought that hot fire that people related to more, and I kind of feel like that's my Jimi Hendrix to that dude's Bob Dylan. Like I am the black guy in this situation, oddly, and he's the white guy. So that's the story of the Butthole song, and I don't know, maybe one, and we literally lost like 20 viewers for that whole thing just then. Fair enough. I expect nothing less than that. That's fine. It would be weird if I hadn't lost viewers after going down that little tangent there.
He was, I forget, the editorial director of the whole thing at that time. He said he wanted EGM to become the Rolling Stones of video games. I'm like, no, just let EGM focus on the gaming and stuff.
I think the whole tone of the magazine changed at that point.
I think back to the infamous review. The review was literally just another karate game, was the entire review. That sort of thing would never happen in our era of EGM.
That was one thing we liked in EGM too. We had creative control because they didn't care about us. And by they, I mean Ziff Davis. But eventually they started getting more in control because they didn't like the idea that our magazine was actually taking sale numbers away.
The name even changed to Expert Gamer, and then Expert Gamer became kind of its own thing where it was more the tricks and strategies.
There was another one, I won't name a name, it was an art director. He became an art director in EGM2. I remember he showed me an image, two pieces of art, and he showed me, it was an image of Fulgore from Killer Instinct and Ken from Street Fighter 2, and he looked at me and goes, "Hey, Mike, which one of these is Street Fighter? Are you serious?" I'm like, that was, I remember that was a key moment, like, why are you here?
It was nice to be out on the West Coast. San Francisco is a beautiful city, so it was cool to live there to begin with. But it was nice to be there and know, like, you could hop a train and go to Electronic Arts and interview the developers of The Sims. Like, that was really big around the time that we got out there.
The layout changed, so it wasn't so screenshot-oriented or map-oriented.
The real test was when the PlayStation 2 came out. It didn't play well with our capture cards. If you go and look at the early issues of PlayStation 2 coverage, the screenshots are awful. I mean, they're just terrible.
Some bad screenshots.
When we got into that generation of consoles,
sure,
we really started pushing for official shots from the publishers.
They would get company-fed screens. I didn't like that. And again, this is why I'm like, what good are you? That's monkey work. Anybody can do that. You know, literally anyone can do that. I want to do something that becomes me. You know, I want to put me on the page with what I'm doing.
I mean, for better or worse, you know, it made the games look a lot better, but a lot of them were also staged perfectly, so it made the game maybe look even a little bit too good.
We would play the same level.
Wait, hold on. What were they saying just then? That caught my interest.
The real test was when the PlayStation 2 came out. It didn't play well with our capture cards. If you go and look at the early issues of PlayStation 2 coverage, the screenshots are awful. I mean, they're just terrible. When we got into that generation of consoles, we really started pushing for official shots from the publishers.
They would get company-fed screens. I didn't like that.
That's what I always thought. Like when I saw gaming, I thought they came from the company, and now they're saying they did. Okay, so the early like 90s era was like when they were just taking pictures of the actual screen from the trade conventions.
And again, this is why I'm like, what good are you? That's monkey work. Anybody can do that. You know, literally anyone can do that. I want to do something that becomes me. You know, I want to put me on the page with what I'm doing.
I mean, for better or worse, you know, it made the games look a lot better, but a lot of them were also staged perfectly, so it made the game maybe look even a little bit too good.
We would play the same levels over and over again to get the best possible shot we could possibly get. Even though we could get the quality up as high as terms of like the crispness and the colors, we would try to get the action shots as best as we could, and I think it showed.
More and more companies didn't want us doing that because for that exact reason, it's like they don't always look the greatest, and they're not a kind of posed shot that the companies can control and do better. So more and more
I thought that was from Pikmin just then. It was from Final Fantasy. Anyway.
Companies would like, well, we'll provide you the assets.
I can't believe how many fucking cities have streetcars, apparently. These are not U.S. cities. These are all Canadians, like, answering at this point. Because, like, this is not a thing in the U.S. We do not have streetcars. It is a fucking Canadian thing.
To ask you not to take screenshots.
It's lazy.
When I got an issue of EGM, because I'm like, oh, it's like one of the first issues of EGM I haven't seen where I wasn't working there. And I was like looking in the magazine because I wanted to see how Resident Evil 0 was. And I looked at the review and there were like 3 massive screenshots of spoilers there. I'm like, close it. I'm like, why?
And I've seen the magazine, I flip through it, I'm like, I don't care about this. There's nothing in here that's wowing me. It's not, I don't know, it didn't have the same passion. It was very generic to me.
Down the road, Shu managed to kind of take back a little bit more control and have a little bit more journalism in there. And I was kind of pleased to see that with Shu, but I think that developed over time.
The key that made everything possible, I gave this a lot of thought, is the fact that there was, in the late 80s, early 90s, there was not an internet. It was out there, but there wasn't the network that you have now, where if there's a trade show, you get a live feed from Tokyo and everybody knows what it is as it's being done. And that's where we came in and we filled that gap.
We had the website that started coming up, the Nuke website, nuke.com. So I worked a lot on that.
So Nuke I never saw, but Nuke was EGM's website in, God, I think like 95 it might have even started. It was really early.
We didn't do a whole lot with it, but it was one of the first ones out there. There weren't a lot of websites at the time, and they were all very simplistic, not like today's websites. It was like a EGM Lite, so to speak, not nearly as graphical as EGM was.
If you produced a game on let's say PlayStation and Saturn, maybe we'd do the PlayStation version in the magazine and the Saturn version would get done on Nuke.
Oh, they had some problem getting some focus there. Almost like the autofocus was having trouble at the beginning of that shot. It's a little unprofessional. Joe Redifer and whoever else is in My Life in Gaming.
Or, Nintendo or Genesis, Super Nintendo or Genesis, something like that.
This is very Steve Harris. I think that he saw that the internet was going to be where people started talking about video games, and I think, I suspect that nuke.com was probably one of the earliest experiments in delivering video game news as quickly as possible to internet users.
I'm picturing the layouts in my head, and I'm cringing just thinking about them, just because they were so simple. It was just like screenshot, text, screenshot, text. I spent a lot of time in the chat, and that was probably my most fun part about the nuke. The chat was cool because I actually got to talk to people, because I was the admin, the admin for the chat, so I would be booting people out and talking to them and keeping them engaged and just things like that behind the scenes.
But I think Nuke died before the Internet Archive existed to archive it. So I don't think there's any remnants of Nuke other than like the advertisements in EGM. It just shows how much they were just like trying everything they could.
We didn't want to bite into the actual magazine itself, so you didn't really get anything new out of it. It was just complimentary. And then when Ziff Davis came out, a lot of that stuff changed because they didn't want the Nuke site. They had their own site that they wanted to do. So GameSpot.
Inevitably, magazines were not going to do great in this internet age. There's just physical media was just going to be a bygone thing. Like a lot of our editorial direction was, hey, let's be entertaining. Let's be smart about our analysis. Let's be very original in our features.
Then we started doing something called Afterthoughts, which was a series of interviews talking with the developers after the game came out.
We spend months or years hyping up a game like, say, Metal Gear Solid 2, right? And it comes out and then we don't talk about it ever again. So it's like, why aren't we revisiting these hot games a couple months later and talking to the developers and getting some insight into what went into the creation of this stuff?
So now they're gonna be able to tell me, well, what is the deal with this bit in the ending? Like, I don't understand that, or like, why did you do this with the narrative, or like the questions you couldn't print in the preview period. And that was really fun. I got to interview Dennis Dyack for Eternal Darkness, a game that I really love.
Then we would do things like Sean Baby. He was one of the writers that Crispin found to do an article, the speech article, like the 20th worst games in video game history. And I remember reading this and I was just laughing my head off. This was before it went to print. I was like editing it. I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. So before we even printed this article, before it published, I told Crispin, hey, put me in touch with this guy. Let's lock him down. Let's get him to do a monthly column for us. We need this in every issue of EGM, not just this one-time feature. So at that time, John Davison was the editorial director, so he was my boss. So I told him, I'm like, hey, I think I want to kill the trick section. And it was pretty bold because this is Trickman Terry has been doing the trick section for many, many years. He's a very core part of that magazine, but I'm like, in this internet age, I don't think people are waiting a month and a half for tricks that are now slightly out of date when they could find this stuff on a GameFAQs or other sites like that.
Yeah, it really kind of it would eventually negate the reason for my section. Found it here already, so you didn't really need to have it, have a magazine tell you what to do.
Especially in the latter half of the 90s when games got a little bit more cinematic and focused a little bit more on maturing the art form. I don't think that the code for infinite lives was as relevant anymore. As video games evolved, I think that they evolved away from the EGM approach of here's all the games and here's whether they're cool and here's how to get all the tips for them. I think that approach just stopped making sense.
The internet was getting bigger, and we were on a 4-week lead time, and stories were being broken on the internet in the matter of hours.
I remember it was Star Wars: The Masters of Terraskazi. That we were gonna get an exclusive on that one. I was actually editing the screenshots for them, and we had deliberately overlapped them because we were worried IGN was gonna steal them and just scan them and immediately put them online. When our magazine came out, they did that anyways. They just cropped out all our images and they just stuck them online.
You can't compete with the internet. Like, the internet's always gonna be first.
It was easy to see the writing on the wall. You weren't going to be cutting edge in print at that point.
I guess I didn't really realize at the time that it was going to be that way, but I guess in retrospect, it's easy to see where, yeah, we weren't going to last very much longer.
I think that EGM stood out from the competitors, not because the competitors didn't care about games, but like because it came from that place of like people who play games all the time, who like nerd out about it and just talk about it all the time. And I think that that way of talking about video games was sort of the seed of how we started talking about video games on the internet.
Meeting up with Steve, it was like a lifelong dream. You know, I was able to take that passion and apply it to something and make it productive. And now, looking back, seeing that, I think it came out pretty good.
I'm constantly running to gamers, game industry people. Every new job I get in the games industry, like I worked at PlayStation, Riot, Blizzard, and at all these places I've had people come to me like, oh, hey, I want to meet you, or I want to say hi, or I want to thank you for EGM. So that's been fantastic just to see how many people EGM has touched over the years.
You can't Google these very specific niche parts of video game history, and the only way we know about them at all is because they were in these print magazines.
That's what these game magazines feel like. It feels like history. It's a piece of history.
We were just a bunch of kids, and kids making a magazine that captivated hundreds of thousands of people, and we were able to pull it off and do it. It's a hugely complicated process.
I mean, I learned about so many different things that I never would have heard of from EGM. Like, I learned about like the Conix multi-system, or even the TurboGrafx 16. I wouldn't have known much about that if it wasn't for EGM covering it.
I have talked to several people that are now in their mid-30s who have said, oh yeah, I remember EGM. Yeah, I used to read it all the time. So I'm beginning to get a more sense of the impact that it had. But at the time, I just knew we were creating a really good product, and they told me that it sold really well.
I just know at this time I'm about to take a shot of alcohol. What's up, Jordy? She was just at my show last night. Feel free to post your pictars in the Discord for everyone to see what I looked like last night at my show, or Trey, or Ari, or Michael. Who knows? Shots, everyone. Jody hat die Geigenvorfall von mir, so wann du möchtest, du kannst sie anrufen. Das ist 904. No, I'm not even going to give out my real phone number in German. Not even in German. Someone's going to translate it.
Yeah, you don't really think about the impact until later on.
We were able to do what we wanted and in the way we wanted, and still influence not only players, but the industry in itself.
The far-reaching implication of that magazine was like, holy cow, man, it was just freaking incredible.
I still work in video games, and everything I do in my career is around video games, and that would not have happened if Joe Funk didn't give me a job all those years ago at EGM.
You know, some of the things that I did in EGM live on now, like the skeleton meme. And I wrote that caption. That was one of the very first things that I wrote at EGM, and now it's a meme, and I can buy it on a shirt. That just like blows my mind.
Oh yeah, he does have a PS5, doesn't he? Yeah, the PS5 was a real fucking letdown of a system. Jesus Christ. It was like one of like the worst systems, aside from the Switch 2, like one of the worst system launches that I can think of in recent history. Do you like Spider-Man? Well, you got Spider-Man 2. Do you like Ratchet and Clank? Do you like a bunch of remakes of a bunch of games you've already played but they look prettier? Then buy the PS5. But if none of that happens to appeal to you, save $600 and don't do that. And then the $80 games and the controller that has drift like a motherfucker on the... For me, it was the right control stick, so I had to buy a whole new $80 controller. Yeah, horrible system. Like, man, it just adds shame to the PS4's name, because the PS4 was one of the best systems ever. And the PS5 was just what, like the fucking inbred restart restarted kid of the PS family. Way worse than even the PS3. I don't know what it is about even numbers. The 2 and the 4 were some of the greatest systems ever, and then you got the 3 and the 6, or 5, sorry. God, what disappointments those consoles are. And then the Switch 2, I mean, it just came out, so it's yet to be seen what might come out. But I mean, like, there's no, I mean, the fucking Mario Kart game where you can drive all over the place, I don't give a shit about that. And the Donkey Kong Bonanza or whatever, where you can, like, punch through everything. I don't know. It's kind of a shtick. That's Metroid Prime 4, which is on both systems. I'm currently playing it on the original Switch. What a mid game that turned out to be. God, it puts all the other Metroid Prime, except for 3, because I never played it because it was only on the Wii. But Metroid Prime 1 and 2, God, those games put Metroid Prime 4 to shame. Like, even graphically, they're not, like, Metroid Prime 4, it literally looks like a GameCube game, like, on HD, like, 480p resolution. Like, God, it's just not a, how the fuck did they make us wait 10 years for such a mid-ass game? Anyway.
Knew that we were putting out a good product, and I feel proud of the fact that we did as much as we could.
It was the source. It was just one of the best sources that you could find to get all your gaming information, and you know, I was kind of proud to be part of that team.
It was a dream job for sure. I think it was surreal in a way.
And reading EGM is the reason.
Yeah, that overworld fucking sucked. We had to ride the motorcycle through the desert. Now I liked the music because it was like very reminiscent of like 2001: Space Odyssey. Not the main theme, obviously, but other than that, yeah, that overworld can suck a dick. I hated the overworld. That was just such a, like, it's kind of fun, but Jesus Christ, what a disappointing Metroid Prime game.
Why it was my dream job.
Mike Vallis and Terry Minnick and Ken and Martin and just all those guys, just lasting friendships, you know. I mean, that's what I really remember most about it. And it's great that I still, you know, I still talk to these guys all the time.
And of all the places I've worked, I've made the most forever friends from my times at EGM.
All my groomsmen at my wedding were ex-EGM alum.
I think the most special thing for me is that Steve and Ed gave me a chance. I was very young, and I had no formal design or writing experience, and I got to be...
Hell yeah, Foofy, no, 6073. What's up, Filth Pigs, Josh Pop Culture? I know that. I am pop culture. And whenever, man, I wish I could... I think Jim and them found a way to stream the Corey Feldman versus the World doc on their thing. I haven't checked in on them in a minute, but sure, they found a way. We've been watching it just on Discord, and I wish I could stream it. But I feel like I'd get a smackdown with the quickness if I did that shit.
Be a part of something very special that is loved by so many people around the world. For me, the whole experience is special. And I look back on those days with fond memories and nothing but positive energy.
And people are doing documentaries about it. It's like, what? It's like, I'm so gratified that, like, it's reached that far and lasted so long.
It just means a lot. What you guys are doing means a lot. So I want to thank you and your team for doing this, because this means a lot to me. And it means a lot.
You miss working in this industry?
Yes.
Do you feel it's central to who you are today?
All right, I can hear the guy off camera. That's the guy from My Life in Gaming.
Yeah.
We were just a crazy bunch of guys who loved games. It was just a great run.
right, let's see what happened to this motherfucker. Martin Alessi. I gotta know. I gotta know. Will you show me? Martin, he passed away in January of 2022. My God, how long were they sitting on this fucking thing? Jesus Christ. Editor, I believe, was a handful. He just dabbled in retro games. Okay. So this is Atari Age. Someone said, I conversed with Martin on Facebook, and it started when I made blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's nothing interesting there. What'd he die of? You look pretty, relatively young there. Oh, here's his obituary. It was 48. Okay, well. He was a young 48. Dude, why are people so weird about saying how someone died? It's like you almost have to DM one of their family members or some shit. Just trying to see if there's some shit that I should avoid. Like there was a fucking spiky pit that he walked over and a piano fell on his head. Well, let me avoid that area. Wherever that's at. They never mention it. Okay, I don't know. Oh, we got a syringe there. Oh, are you saying he died of a heroin overdose? I've had 2 people that I once considered friends who've died of heroin overdoses. One turned out to be a piece of shit. The other one just kind of turned out to be a dummy. Why would you? I don't know. Why would you get addicted to heroin, you dummy? Don't do that. Just don't do it. I don't know what to watch now. I guess we should watch something. There's this really funny Review Tech USA documentary that I caught wind of a couple months ago. I don't know.
Have you ever thought about how insane it is to actually get a YouTube channel?
So actually, this black dude's funny as fuck. I don't know what his deal is, but he's funny as fuck.
With 1 million subscribers? That's a milestone the vast majority of content creators on YouTube will never come within arm's reach of. And people don't really put respect on it like they used to. The average person has at least a dozen million-plus channels in their subscription feed by now. It's not like back in the OG days when only guys like Fred were the big boys on the block. Now you got Titan-sized mega channels like Mr. Beast walking around. But let's keep things in perspective here. Only 2% of authors who submit their manuscripts will get published. Only 1% of people who contract pancreatic cancer will survive a decade. Only 0.03% of content creators on YouTube will ever make 1 million or more subscribers.
Exactly. So stop talking shit on me with my shitty 20,000 subscribers, okay? I'm doing better than a lot of people. I'm like cruising in the upper echelons, quite frankly. So all those, which none of them are watching this now, so this is falling on deaf ears, but yeah. Stop making fun of my small puny little channel, okay? You're punching down. Or maybe not, but whatever.
You literally have a better chance of surviving the deadliest version of cancer than you do of getting a sub count with at least 7 digits. Even with modern sub inflation factored, getting a million-plus subs is still a very big dick behemoth worthy accomplishment. You are officially in the I won the game of YouTube club if you manage to pull that off. Which makes it all the more fascinating when you find one of these 7-digit bit dick behemoths like Review Tech USA's and watch them die in real time. Oh sure, an ancient YouTube channel like Fred's, there's nothing surprising about that channel being dead. Niggas were signing the Constitution when Fred was still relevant. But somebody who was relevant recently,
He said
who's
the
been
N-word.
uploading recently, who's had videos that have broken 500,000 views recently, and whose channel still continues to die an agonizing death. That's something else entirely. Some people who've been paying attention to RTU and his recent shenanigans might conclude this death is just the result of a self-inflicted wound by Rich.
Oh, Cerebral P. Whoops, punching up $10. Thank you, Cerebral Palsy. I hope you don't have cerebral palsy. You're at the bar right now and you're listening to a live stream. Talk to some girls, man. Give me a report back on the girls there. What are we looking at? What are we looking at the bar there in Canada? This stream has been the least girl-centric stream I've done in some time. And there's a lot of lonely, horny men on here. Myself included. Oh, please tell me about the girls.
A YouTube kamikaze, if you will. And yeah, that definitely plays a part. But after autistic amounts of research, I've come up with a new hypothesis. That ReviewTech USA's channel has been dying for years, and what we're witnessing now is just the equivalent of a man entering the last stages of a terminal illness that he's failed to properly treat, and is now getting his
big ass
eaten from the inside out. Don't believe me? Well, if you've got the time, I've got the receipts. As time moves forward, we get so far removed from certain events, we forget that certain things that are taboo now used to be pretty common back in the day. Like monarchy, slavery, child labor, and most of ReviewTech USA's content actually involving him reviewing tech.
Okay, here's what comes in the packaging. You get the game console itself, 2 infrared wireless controllers.
Now even back then, when Rich's internet alias wasn't a suggestion at best, his first video on YouTube had nothing to do with reviewing any tech at all.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rich of ReviewTech USA, and this is in response to Deadman7257 on what makes gamers different.
Still, this was a very straightforward YouTube channel. Console reviews, reviews of computer parts, going over specs for new consoles, and some miscellaneous gaming news spliced in between. You know, just a basic tech channel. And his initial slow growth reflected that too. Just breaking 300 subscribers was worth celebrating.
Special day. Why is it special? Well, it's special because I got to bring these games back for the Atari 2600 because that guy on Craigslist was a jackass. And it's also special because I've hit 300 subscribers.
Wow, he did that gay voice even back then. Oh my god. I can't believe that's just always just been a that's like he goes to that gay voice like I go to like my Beavis and Butthead voice. Yeah. I guess that's what Rich thinks is funny, is to do a gay voice. Yeah, that's very funny and original, Rich. Good job.
But it was during this time that a few of Rich's bad habits started to crop up. Just taking a peek at the most popular vids of Rich's channel in 2012, what do you see? Clickbait, politics, videos that aren't related to tech or gaming news at all, and oh, this little masterpiece right here. Xbox 720 will be smaller, more affordable than Xbox 360. This used to be the most popular video on Rich's channel by far. And it's the trash! Hot left out in the Mississippi sun trash. In it, Rich repeats a bunch of news about the then in development Xbox 720. Now all the Zoomers in the audience are probably looking confused because you don't remember crying to your mom that your big bro wouldn't let you play on his Xbox 720. Well, that's because it didn't exist. It was one of those mythical speculation consoles that people like to spread rumors about back in the day. Rich's gullible ass actually believed these types of rumors about Microsoft putting out a console that would somehow be superior in every way to the 360 while still being both smaller and cheaper. In the video's just him regurgitating a short 4-paragraph long IGN article, which itself is regurgitating the final paragraph of a Tumblr post, which itself admits in the first sentence that everything he's saying about the new Xbox is just literally rumors and speculation. So the source for Rich's video.
That's some Jesus, Clesure. How drunk am I now? That's some clever visualization there. The source of the source. You got the Russian dolls that stack into each other or whatever. As a video editor, there come times where I come upon a phrase where it's like, there needs to be a visual there. I'm like, well, God damn it, what visual do I use? Oftentimes I make the wrong decision, and then I see people do it better than me, and I'm like, curse you, better video editors.
It's just
pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up.
That's quality journalism right there. How did Rich's audience respond to this? After all, Rich said at the end of the video.
So what's your take on this? Do you think Microsoft can make a next generation console that's actually cheaper than the Xbox 360?
It must have been a tough crowd because the comments have been shut down for almost as long as the video's been up. Obviously the video itself's never been taken down, because that would have fucked up with the ad revenue and algorithm. And if there's one thing you're going to learn going forward, is that Rich hates leaving any money on the table. Now you might say, Mikey, you're making a really big deal about one poorly researched video from over a dozen years ago. But look, it's not about the video itself, it's about what it represents.
Not only is shutting down comments weak, but, you know, me as someone who criticizes people all the time, I got a whole other channel that's criticizing me. Every move I make, they're hyper-focusing on it, and they're making a video about it. And I haven't stricken down a single one of their videos, because what kind of a hypocrite would that make me? Like, I'm talking shit about people all the time, and now I got this like cottage fucking industry over here who's making videos about everything I do, and it's like they even like, well, whatever, I won't say it. Whatever, they know who they are. Bunghole. But yeah, it's like I don't know, I just feel like if you can dish it out, then you should be able to take it to some degree, I feel like. So, unless it goes too far, obviously. If they start doxing you and, you know, crossing the line, then that's when, obviously, you lay the smack down. But, yeah, if they're just critiquing you, I mean, I don't know, like, especially if you're like me and you're, like, being critical of other people, then, yeah, you just have to take it.
This wasn't just the first video of Rich's to break 100K, it was the first to crack over 500,000. His first real viral video. And it didn't come from him reviewing tech or giving carefully vetted info about some topic he was really informed about. It came from him shitting out a half-assed video on a subject he did less than zero research on, with a clickbait title slapped on it. And when people started calling out how goofy he looked, rather than own up to it, he fought niggas in the comments for a while before shutting them down entirely. Because he didn't want his lazy, viral, clickbait-ass slop of a video to be besmirched by valid critique. The clickbaitiness, the reliance on rumors and speculation, the lashing out at valid criticism. These are the bad habits that Rich would ruin himself with in the future. In summer of 2012, Rich had a problem. He was unemployed.
As many of you know, I just started a new job, and not even a month into it, I was laid off.
Well, technically, he wasn't unemployed because he still had YouTube, which according to Rich, was the most reliable job and paycheck he had had since he first started his channel in 2009.
I haven't had a job that was a good job since 2009. I've had a steadier quote-unquote career on YouTube. YouTube has been my safeguard. YouTube has been my safety net. But I'm going 110% with this, with YouTube. It's, when I put more work in, I get more out of it.
So Rich was like, fuck it. No more YouTube is just a hobby shit. Our guy locked in and amassed over 10K subs in the half a year between him getting laid off from IBM alone. He even finally did a face reveal as he was approaching 16K subs.
Hot anal horse porn. Oh, hi there!
Credit where credit is due, Rich was getting it in. And then, in February, Rich put out a now removed video on his channel just called I Need Your Help. I couldn't find the original thumbnail for this video, but allegedly, it was literally just the PayPal logo with the description having a link to Rich's PayPal.
Since Kickstarter thinks that a $600,000 My Little Pony Island is a brilliant idea, and me simply looking to raise a small amount of cash for a camcorder so I could actually do more things with my show isn't a good idea and didn't improve my Kickstarter project, I'm going to go about this the old-fashioned way. What do I need? I need a camcorder for the show, straight up. So what I'm asking for is donations. If you could give 5 cents, if you could give $2.
Man, this was a time before everyone started just using the grift term. Just for anything. Just anything they don't like, it's a grift. Like, this was back when you could really do some hardcore grifting without being accused of being a grifter. Those were the salad days. I wasn't on YouTube back in 2012. My first video I published in 2015, but yeah, now everything's just like grift, 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 grift. I feel like I'm at Freddie Mercury at the Live 8 Festival right now, where you get the whole audience sing along. Grift, 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 grift. Anyway.
I want to try to raise $500 to get a camcorder. I'm not looking for a red $20,000 camcorder. I'm looking for something basic, clean, 1080p, so I can improve my channel.
He wanted his fans to buy him a camera, not for him to buy himself a camera with the money he obtained from working and putting out videos. Nah, this nigga wanted to crowdsource some new equipment for nothing extra in return for the audience. Oh wait, no. Rich said he was going to donate some of it to charity.
Now, how is this not e-begging? You're like, Rich, you're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. A year from that day that I hit the 500, I will donate $500 out of my own money to a charity of your choosing. Period.
Rich, why didn't you just give your audience a link and encourage them to donate to the charity directly? Yeah, Rich didn't think this one through, either out of ignorance or because he was so greedy in the moment that he just didn't care. Like, a fan donating a camera to him would have been less sus than him just e-panhandling like a hobo shaking a cup with a PayPal logo on it. And this blatant e-panhandling didn't go unnoticed either, because Rich threw the critique of an old associate of his, the Blackbuster Critic. Blackbuster Critic and Rich had bumped heads a few times before, one time being when they debated the merits of PC gaming compared to console gaming. This new encounter of theirs during the e-beggar saga began with the Blackbuster Critic making a video about how he bought a new camera.
What's going on, guys? This is your Blackbuster Critic, and I'm here to do a product review of a camcorder that I have recently bought. A Sony HDR 260V. And let me tell you right now, it is a phenomenal camera. And I bought this with my own money. How about that? I didn't have to come onto YouTube and make a video begging my subscribers for a camera that I not necessarily needed but wanted. It does serve a purpose, but it is in fact my responsibility for my own equipment. So if there's something I need, I have the pride, the self-respect, and the work ethic to go out, work the extra hours, and make the money to buy the product that I feel that I need. I am not gonna beg my subscribers for money for something that I'm going to own. That's no shot at anyone in particular.
Now, Blackbuster Critic didn't bring up Rich's name once in his video. He wouldn't even mention him in the description or in any of the tags. But Rich, unable to resist some fresh BBC,
What's up, Craig?
Still responded, because of course he did.
Hello, Blackbuster Critic. It's your old buddy Rich from Review Tech USA, or Review Beg USA. You've had some colorful things to say about me, but unlike many other people, I'm not afraid to actually talk to you on Skype. So, since you have a lot of things on your mind about me, let's just do it the good old-fashioned way and debate it live on Skype.
Again, the Blackbuster Critic never said Review Tech's name. So why did Review Tech automatically assume that he was talking about him?
Unexpected development here, but already this particular person has admitted defeat. He fell into a very classic trap. There's a reason why I mentioned no names in my previous video. You know why? Because the guilty party will always point themselves out. What I said could be applied to a lot of people. But this one particular person personally came to my video and was talking trash. I didn't mention his name, and nowhere in my tags was his username either. In the suggested videos, he's not there.
During this drama is where another notorious trait of ReviewTech USA popped up. The mysterious flagging of YouTubers who harshly critiqued him.
For some reason, my account's getting flagged down by Flaggets.
For some reason, several individuals who've been super critical of Rich have ended up with their channels struck over the years. Now, is it just a weird coincidence? Let's put it aside for right now. We'll be getting back to it later. Rich swore up and down that he didn't scam anyone. It wasn't a grift because he was donating part of the money he was getting to charity. I want to ask the audience that's familiar with ReviewTech USA's content real quick. Can any of you recall any other occasion where ReviewTech USA did anything for charity? Like anything at all. I can only think of one other time, like a decade after this, where Rich said he would donate to charity if he failed to meet his obligations to his audience.
If I don't get this done by August 1st, I will, on stream, donate to a charity of your choosing.
Yeah, he really used donating to charity as a punishment to himself. And it actually turned out to be a punishment, because when some of his fans later brought this promise back up to him after he failed to do what he said he would do, our mans got heated.
Lost in Gaming donated $5. If the guys that donated are cool with it, then whatever. Just don't make promises that you will donate to charity and not follow through with it. That's my only criticism.
You know, there's people out there fucking kids and doing everything else, but here you go. Here is $15.30 that I donated. So suck my fucking dick. So there it is. You see it? Here, I'll zoom in real fucking close. Here, just so you can see it. Just so you could fucking see it. You fucking brain-dead loser virgin fucking retards who have nothing else better to do.
Rich doesn't care about charity. He only brought up the charity so he could get some good boy points to leverage against the fact that he was e-begging for a $500 camera that he was going to get a tax write-off for anyway, along with a tax write-off for the charity donation.
$500 camera, that's not going to be a good quality I don't care. I don't even care if it was 10 years ago. $500 camera is not going to be like all that good. Like, and I mean, I'm not to like be like, oh man, I have so much money, because I don't. But like, I don't know, like you can't just put it on your credit card or something. Like $500. I mean, that's not gonna break you. Like that's not gonna like send you out on the street homeless if you put a 500. I don't know. It's bizarre.
He got a camera. He got a tax write-off for the camera. And then you guys gave him a tax write-off for the charity.
So in the end, there will be no hole left in his pockets from any of this. All the actual investments came from his fans.
There's a reason why he didn't debate me. A very good reason.
Oh, and let's not forget how, during this whole saga, Rich made a video about buying some shit from Newegg.
Oh, Newegg. Now, I will say the issue I'm about to talk about was resolved, but it was after I screamed like a lunatic and was raging.
He pissed and cried at some poor customer service lady who eventually got him a refund and all of his money back. Can you guess how much it was?
Okay, this is a $450 friggin' card.
$450. Damn, that's only $50 short of the camera he had to panhandle for. But look, guys, Rich was in dire straits. He was so down bad, he was able to quit his day job around the same time and become a full-time YouTuber?
So holy shit. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think to say to start this video off.
Oh, fucking BioShock Legacy. What was it? I love this game. A lot of people don't like it. Was it BioShock? What the fuck was the name of it? What was the name of it? Infinite, Bioshock Infinite. What people say it sucks. I don't understand that. I thought it was a great fucking game. A lot of people don't like it. I fucking love that game. I mean, I like the first. Oh, it is on the screen. Well, it's in small font, and I'm using OBS, so it's even smaller than what you would see. Like it's like the size of a credit card, pretty much. My whole screen, including me. So you'll have to excuse me on that one. I don't know why people didn't like that game. I thought it had a great story. I mean, I didn't quite understand it, but whatever. It was really cool at the end of the game, like where you go back into Rapture, because like you're like going forward into time. You end up in Rapture for a little bit. I don't know. Whatever. That was a great game.
In 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing Review Tech USA full.
The rail mechanic wasn't that bad. That was like 20% of the game. Come on now.
Time.
Huh. Maybe Rich wasn't actually doing that bad. Maybe he was greatly exaggerating the state of his finances and using charity to grift some sympathy bucks from his audience. And you know what?
The DLC is very good for it, for that game, because you get to see Rapture before it got all shitty. You get to see it before, like, whatever, the Freakers or whatever they called took over. Yeah, good DLC.
The worst part of all this was, he ended up going back to just using gaming footage for most of his videos anyway. He didn't even use the camera. Nigga, what was even the point of you getting the camera in the first place? Now, fortunately for Rich, he got away with it. He didn't lose any subs or viewers. Even the BBC getting flagged got swept under the rug. Just like with the Xbox 720 video, all Rich learned was that he could be lazy and deceitful and still suffer zero consequences for his actions. That he could get away with straight up scamming people, even his own fans. And when you look at it like that, it really does explain where his mind was during the next few arcs we're about to get into. So it's 2014, the first year where Richard Masucci finally got to be Review Tech USA for the full 365 days of the year, with no bullshit 9 to 5 taking up his valuable time. Surely with all this extra time to dedicate to his craft, he could focus 100% on bringing us the highest quality content with some actual research behind it. Right? Put Review Tech USA in a Fallout intro, because just like war, he never changes. In early 2014, Rich got into some hot new drama by straight up slandering a gaming news site called PlayerEssence.com. Rich claimed that Player Essence was pro-censorship because they kept removing...
Wait, wasn't Player Essence the black guy in the Spawnwave podcast? Yeah, I specifically remember that name. I maybe that was his website. I don't know.
Articles linked there that kept saying that Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata should have been fired.
I haven't done a video like this in a while, calling out a website ever since DualShockers back in the day. But I love to do it though, because when these guys, I'm a professional journalist, even though I have a hardcore bias and will ban anyone from hurting my feelings by saying something about Satoru Iwata.
Now he admits he doesn't really know anything about the site.
So it's a short paragraph, this guy Furious Francis, I just found out his name about 4 minutes ago.
He also confesses that his information on the subject came from a trustworthy source, a fellow YouTuber named Blackbond.
So this is kind of an off-the-cuff video that I wasn't even going to make tonight, but I saw Blackbond's video. Shout out to Blackbond. I'll have a link to his channel below in the description.
Now, Player Essence gave a very calm response.
Really? Review Tech? I mean, like, honestly, you would make a video bashing the whole website because of one statement that you saw through somebody else who doesn't like me. You admit that you just found out who I am 4 minutes ago from you making that video, but you still decided to make a video without finding out more about what I have to say. So you drop a video like that and say that I have a hardcore behind.
Oh! Love Factory of $10, 666. Happy New Year and greetings from Finland. Been watching your content for several years. As you are a friend of Canadian Entertainment, Trailer Park Boys, are you from Kenny versus? Yes, Kenny versus Spenny. Everybody tells me when I tell them I like Trailer Park Boys, they need to tell me that I need to watch Letterkenny And then they need to tell me I need to watch Kenny versus Spenny. Letterkenny I do not find funny at all. Do not like that show. Kenny versus Spenny, never saw it, but I remember seeing previews for it on Comedy Central all the time. Might have to look into it. Oh! $50 super chat Canadian from Cerebral P. Fuck Rich, long live Josh. Jesus, thank you guys so much. You make my cock hard. I have pre-cum forming in my penis hole as we speak.
The only issue is this. As a professional journalist, okay, I have to seek the truth and report it. It seems like you're a little upset because I don't want your opinion on Awada posted on my website, which is my deal. So before you sit down and you make a video about something based off of what somebody else says, maybe you should actually check the source material and what you're talking about. Otherwise, you look stupid.
Rich never responded or owned up to the slander he made against Player Essence. He just ignored it, including all of Player Essence's messages towards him. Compared to the e-becking arc or the shit show we're about to get into next, this drama was microscopic, a blip that was soon forgotten about. But we still need to go over it because I needed you to understand that whenever Rich tells you he's heard some hot new gaming goss from a trusted insider, he just means some dude. It could be a bum playing on his Nintendo Switch in a dumpster feeding him this info. And this is what leads him to say stupid shit, like when he said the PS4 would have worse graphics than the Xbox One because Sony had bad network infrastructure?
I got all of this information from very, very reliable sources. I'm just gonna call them little birds. I can't even give you their gender, but I can give the information out. Some of it could be inaccurate, but from the sources that I got it from, I don't think they are, but I'm saying that more so just as a disclaimer. Now, you know about the whole debacle with Call of Duty Ghosts, how it's supposedly 1080p on the PS4 and only 720p on the Xbox One. Well, I have some bad news for all the guys who were hating on the Xbox One, but it's gonna be 720p on both the PS4 and Xbox One. And you wanna know why? Is because the online features of both the PS4 and Xbox One versions of Call of Duty Ghosts is GIMP because their network infrastructures are totally screwed up right now.
Rich from ReviewTech USA, why in the fuck would you say something so fucking stupid? Your sources are fucking dumb as fuck. Okay, I don't know who these sources are. Madonna, Meatloaf, fucking Beyonce. Someone's fucking giving him inaccurate information.
This was so retarded that Shuhei Yoshida, yes, the actual Shuhei Yoshida, tweeted that Rich was so stupid. Just something to keep in mind going forward.
Cheddargate? Oh my god. That's what my balls smell like right now. That's crazy that they had a whole like controversy about that.
So we've caught Rich in one grift before.
Guys, I will stick anything in any hole. You just need to vote yes.
He grifted his fans into crowdsourcing a camera for him under false pretenses. Now you might say, Mikey, that was just a camera and his fans volunteered the money to him, so it wasn't really a scam. Alright, fine. But you know what ReviewTech USA did that objectively, undeniably was a scam?
He stole $200 from Big Cheese, and I don't need to go into this story.
Oh, there's Afro Gamer dude, right? People say I'm like bitchy and cunty. My god, that Afro Gamer dude, he is the cuntiest of them all, I swear to god.
Story too much, I think we all know by now, but yeah, he ripped off Big Cheese. $200.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you own a business or a brand, make sure that every business transaction you do is in contract. Don't mess up like I did. I had no problem with this guy at all. I supported his channel. I appreciated everything that he has done for me as far as my YouTube channel. There was no problems with this guy until money was involved.
It's summer of 2014 and Rich has a new problem. He's in need of a laptop that he can use to work remotely from his then girlfriend's place or wherever else he's away from home. He publicizes this need on Facebook, probably hoping that some simp-ass fan of his will just give him a laptop for free. A guy called Big Cheese, who runs a small gaming and commentary channel, sees an opportunity for some mutual back-scratching.
A while ago, he was asking for a computer. I seen on July. Yeah, July, he was asking for a computer. I hit Rich up. I told him, I got a laptop for you if you would like it. He was asking, well, what are the specs? Well, I sent him the specs, he liked it, so I sent it his way. And I didn't ask for no money in return. I just asked him, okay, could you put up my Destiny giveaway on your channel? He did. Okay, cool. The numbers coming in, people coming through, Review Tech sent me, etc., etc. And after all that occurred with all the numbers and everything increasing, I hit him up. I said, thank you very much. If you need anything else, let me know. We can do some more business.
In exchange for giving Rich a nice laptop he had, Big Cheese wanted Rich to advertise a Destiny giveaway he was doing. The deal was quickly made, with Rich getting his new laptop and Big Cheese getting his views. Hey, everybody got what they wanted. Big Cheese even told Rich to hit him up if he wants to do business again.
So a week or so passes by, and I hit him up. I said, I got a desktop for you if you want one. He was like, send me the specs and I'll check it out. So he saw the specs, he was like, okay, cool, send me one. I said, okay, well, in order for me to send you one, okay, let's do some business.
And just a week later, Rich decided it'd be nice if he had a mini desktop for a certain room in his house. Big Cheese happened to have one with specs Rich liked, so they made a new deal. In exchange for the computer, Rich would give Big Cheese another 3 months of promotion at the end of every video.
He said, okay, I'll put you in the end of every video for 3 months straight. And this started in July 23rd to be exact.
Now here's where the bullshit starts.
Well, the videos had stopped September 24th. So on my part, he wasn't living up to his deal. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't being a man of his word then.
Rich, for some reason, stopped putting out videos in...
Man, Rich fucked with a lot of black dudes. I would have never known. But he did. I don't know one single black YouTuber that I'm friends with or that I even watch or know about. I don't necessarily think that's racism or anything. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Nope. Almost had one. The Marquise guy who reviews technology every now and then. I watch some of his shit. Is there any other... Oh, yeah, no, Honest. Honest. Yeah, no, I watch his shit. Hip Hop Madness, I guess if you consider that guy black. He's like Blasian. Black and Asian. If that needs explaining. That's about it. Maybe I'm racist. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Love black people. Love me some black people. Am I right? Am I right? All my Aussies in the house. Love me some black people. Australia, of course, is legendarily known for being purely black.
Late September, so Big Cheese only got 2/3 of the promotion he was promised. Rich was also supposed to advertise Big Cheese's Halo Master Chief giveaway on September 9th, which Big Cheese sent him all the links and details for.
The link to the giveaway, I sent him the information, all that he needed on September 7th. The next day, I hit him up again, said, did you get my giveaway? He said, no, I didn't. Send it again. So I sent it again. He said, I will post the contest tomorrow. 9 days later, I hit him up asking what's the update. He was like, oh snap, I totally forgot about the giveaway. He also stated, since I wasn't able to do the giveaway for you, I'll make a dedicated video for your channel. Still waiting on that video, Rich. Where that though?
So after all this dude had the audacity to hit Big Cheese up for another desktop.
And then he hit me up, he was saying, yo, you have another one of those desktops? These things are super nice, super fast, and I like it. I want you to send me another one.
We're on computer number 3 now. Rich still hasn't done all the shit he promised he would do in exchange for computer number 2.
And then he proposed to me, I guess 6 more months of advertisements in the intro, 5 advertisements per week. And I said, okay, I'll think about it. And then I hit him back. I said, you know what? How about 3 advertisements per week and $200? And he was like, he said it in fine print on Facebook. He said, all right, you will get 200 on the 10th of November and I will start advertisements Monday.
Bruh, you won't believe this, but Review Tech USA didn't uphold his end of the bargain. And what Rich did that would haunt him for years to come is that he didn't want to pay Big Cheese his $200.
Then the following week, which the 10th is coming up, I hit him up. I was like, yo, what's up? He was like, what's going on? I was like, you know, just making sure that everything is in the place. He was like, I put one of your advertisements up. I was like, I'm not talking about the advertisement, I'm talking about the payment. Today is the payment for $200. He was like, we'll talk about that later. So he was like, I give you a 6-month promotion but not a payment. If that's the issue, that's no problem. I send the PC back to you. So he said, well, if it's an issue, I will pack up the PC and send you a shipping invoice. Honestly, no hard feelings. Wait, what? I'm like, I agree to your terms of 3 advertisements per week and $200. 3 ads for 6 months. So he states, I don't see how I can justify paying you $200 plus to get you months of promotion when I have other companies that will pay me thousands just for this month alone.
I want you to take in this specific screenshot because it really is the embodiment of this lazy, greasy, Italian jar of greed built motherfucker. So companies are paying you thousands a month, Rich, but you can't give this nigga Big Cheese $200 motherfucking dollars you explicitly promised you would give him? Either Rich was just being a greedy bastard by reneging on this deal because he wanted literally all the money for himself, or he was capping like crazy about how much he was actually making, and $200 really was an earth-shattering amount of money for him. Now I don't know which is which, but I do know that Rich is very sensitive whenever his financial situations get brought up.
So I told him, I said, it's messed up how you can just flip things at the last minute. Matter of fact, on the last day, on the day of the due date. I told him, I said, I apologize if you're going through a financial crisis, but when I said something about that financial crisis, when I tell you he flipped on me, first off, no financial crisis. Secondly, I don't give a shit to keep the machine and pay out money I don't need to. That's called being smart. You get back your product and there's no contract. You seem like a man who was broke and desperate since we are calling out people's financials, but sadly that's not my problem. So before I say something really nasty, bite your tongue. You get your computer and take virtually no financial loss except shipping. You know, the half-working computer you sent me. Don't get smart with me, boss, because I'm not in the mood. Let me know what you want to do. Did review tape just go full retard on me? Did that just happen? Oh my, wow, what's going on with Rich?
In the end, Rich ended up paying way more than he bargained for. After his scumbummery was made public to the world, he initially tried to fire back at Big Cheese, but it didn't go over well with his viewers. So Rich went with his go-to strat when the chips were down. He left it alone and waited for things to blow over again. But it wasn't going to work so well this time. Nah, this time, Rich has some real shit in his hands because this drama of his, as short as it was, gave birth to a self-righteous band of trolls who would make YouTube less of the dream job that Rich imagined it would be. Let me introduce the Big Cheese Crusaders. The Big Cheese Crusaders allegedly were founded for the sole quest of righting the wrongs of Cheddargate and making sure ReviewTech USA would pay Big Cheese the cheddar he was owed.
I'm coming for that ass again until you pay what you owe.
Now I say allegedly because, they didn't really care about that shit. Yeah, Cheddargate was the catalyst for their campaigns against Rich, but Big Cheese is to the ReviewTech USA detractor community what Crispus Attucks was to the American revolutionaries. Like, you really think the colonial Americans gave that much of a fuck that some nigga got blickied by the British? Furthermore, a lot of the A-logging shenanigans of the BCC really didn't jive with their just cause of helping a poor black man get his hard-earned money. Even after Rich and Big Cheese broke bread and made amends with each other, they still didn't stop.
I am here today with Big Cheese VG. This is actually a pretty serious thing what's going on. I'm going to have Big Cheese take over from here and explain his situation. So what the hell happened?
In regards to what happened yesterday while I was streaming Retro Tuesday, I do that traditionally. And while I was streaming, the BC Crusaders, that's what they call themselves. How the hell you crusading me? But they call themselves the BC Crusaders. They spammed DDoS my Twitch page, a bunch of followers with my home phone number saying that my wife's a whore and then my mom has cancer and then says I have your mailing address and stuff like that. So it's been pretty much the cyber harassment, cyber attacking towards me. And then when I informed the dude, okay, how do you have my address? I only posted my P.O. box. He posted my real address on Twitter.
Rich now had a bunch of extremely critical eyes on him. If he said something that was bullshit, it wouldn't just fade out into the ether like it did before. Some troll with a ReviewTech USA parody account would pop up in his comment section and mock whatever dumb shit he had to say. If he said something dumb about tech, about gaming, about some e-celeb drama, the trolls would have that shit clipped and analyzed to death by the next morning. Tragically for the Big Cheese Crusaders, they fell victim to one of the most insidious of all troll vices: A-logging. A-logs truly are the joy killers, the well poisoners, the niggas who take this shit way too seriously and ultimately ruin the party for everyone else. Some of the guiltiest culprits of this flagrant A-loggery were two of Rich's biggest menaces, the Review Tech Critic and Review Hell USA. Both of these fine Big Cheese enthusiasts made some of the most popular vids tearing into Rich, and they also got the most under his skin. Not only because of the vids, but because their campaigns to go after his sponsors, to get him banned or kicked out of conventions, to dox him, his friends, his family.
A Twitter user by the name of Review Hell USA, who says, "Hi Matt, you have been fully doxed. Only 2 people know the details of the dox, i.e. real name, addresses, family, businesses, etc. This information won't be released if you comply with our demands. You must make a dedicated video apologizing to the Big Cheese Crusaders for your involvement in this video," and they're referring to this episode of The Verdict I did with Rich from Review Tech a couple of months ago.
Review Hell USA would do petty shit like find what times Rich would go to the gym so we could call the front desk and tell him some nonsense that would ruin Rich's workout day.
Well, this morning at the gym, I got a prank phone call, and one of the trainers come to me and said, "Oh, someone's on the phone named John, and they're saying it's an emergency."
What's that?
Hi, there's someone that's currently at your gym, and I was wondering if I could speak to them, and it's an emergency.
Who did you need to speak to?
And his name is Richard Masucci.
This shit had Rich understandably tweaked, a little wrathful if you will, enough so that he started calling out his detractors for boxing matches.
Hey RTU Critic, let's settle our differences like men. This summer, let's have a boxing match between you and I and have it set up by Keemstar. You got such an issue with me, man. You got such beef with me. Let's settle in the ring. Oh, and by the way, if you don't come through and he actually sets up the match, you're a pussy.
If the BCC had just...
Why is Rich trying to box anybody, dude? That guy would get fucking tenderized by almost anybody, even in this chat. Like, I don't care how old or young or out of shape you are, like... That's the last motherfucker that needs to be like challenging people to like a fucking fight.
Stayed away from this type of stuff and focused on just putting up vids exposing Rich, they would have been fine. But they got lost in that Italian sauce and hurt themselves in confusion. As it turned out, Rich's 2 biggest ops, RTU Critic and Review Hell USA, were the same British nigga on some autistic Richard the Lionheart type crusade against the Italian Sultan Richard Masucci. When Rich learned this, he tried to give the critic a taste of some A-log karma by counter-doxing him. After Rich came down from his vindictive high, he quickly removed the dox, not only because it wasn't a good look to his audience, but because people didn't believe he had the right guy, and Rich really couldn't prove otherwise. But the RTU Critic was exposed by the RTU Critic. See, one of those prank calls of his to Rich's gym got recorded. Rich compared the voice to a British YouTuber named 18T220 and found that he sounded a whole lot like the RTU Critic.
I'm going to let you compare the voice in the prank call to 1AT220, our buddy Jason from Scotland.
Alright guys, back with another video. This time it's sort of advice on global elimination, real time, cryogen.
Wow! They not only sound similar, they sound exactly the same!
What's more, 18T220 and some autistic spurgout with some dude in his comment section literally doxed himself to show how much of an internet tough guy he was in confirming Rich's dox. But the final nail in the coffin, he put a direct link to his alternate channel that led directly to the RTU Critics channel. And he just forgot he put the link there.
I've got another YouTube channel, guys. If you like videos like this, I'll be uploading them on my other channel only, and then 1AT220 is mainly for CryEngines. Let's click that read more button and see what happens. There's a link. Oh, look at that. The link that 1AT220, aka Jason Falconer, posted leads you to the RTU Critic.
Just brilliant Anglo IQ on display. Anyway, that was GG's for the RTU Critic, and also Review Hell USA. Just about every lol cow on the internet goes to war with their trolls at least once, but Rich is the only one I know who came out on top of this war with his detractors. It was a decisive Review Tech USA victory. But man, ain't it crazy how Rich was able to dox his biggest op that easily? I mean, Rich is a tech guy, sure, but is he really that good of a detective? Well, our guy Rich might have had a little bit of help from a third party, an information technology and security services provider called Shadow's Government. And no, I'm not bullshitting. Review Tech USA really teamed up with a dude called Shadow's Government. Shit, he didn't just team up with him, he promoted this guy, claimed he was his channel's most important sponsorship ever. And they didn't even pay Rich. Now what could they have offered you instead, Rich? What could a guy who called himself Shadow's Government, who specialized in cyber hacking and whose logo was somebody's stolen DeviantArt, the Shadow fan art, could have done for you that was more valuable than money? Maybe it has something to do with helping to dox your trolls? So about this Shadow's Government dude. If you managed to have gotten him to tell you his real name, he would have told you it was Michael Nusatelli. That would have been a lie. That was the identity he stole from this dude who is a doctor and criminal psychologist. His actual name was Todd Michael Knisley. Now Todd had a bit of a trouble with the law. 28 convictions actually. He claimed to be an elite hacker.
Now if I were a bad hacker, which I'm not, I'm a white hat hacker, if I were a bad hacker.
And anyone who's been on the internet for a while knows that usually people who call themselves elite hackers are not elite hackers. In fact, Todd, while trying to find the docs of a guy, somehow ended up getting counter-doxed instead.
Is this Shadow? Is this Todd? This is Shadow. Shadow who? This is Shadow. What do you want? Shadow is your name? Yeah. Okay. Is your name Todd? Is there anything? Who? Todd. Todd Knisley? No. No, my name is Tom. Tom?
Now I know what you're wondering. Mikey, why do you keep talking about this guy in past tense? Well, that's because he's fucking dead, and he has been since 2017. And ain't that just the luckiest thing that could have happened to Rich? The criminal he used essentially as a mercenary just conveniently dropped dead after helping him drive off his worst trolls from the internet. Now, I'm not saying Rich is a Boeing executive, but he is one lucky bastard. Rich employed a shady, wannabe hacker, literal felon doxer for hire, and got away with it. There are YouTubers and streamers who've had their careers light up like the Challenger for less. Yeah, Rich would only learn bad lessons from all of this.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching this at this point. I'm not really offering much useful
Real
commentary.
quick, we're going to go through some things that happened throughout the Cheddargate era, because Rich was very busy. I mean, just look at those numbers. Now, a problem for Rich was that while his channel was technically always getting bigger, that YouTube paycheck wasn't showing the same trend. And with the Big Cheese Crusaders going after his sponsors and the adpocalypse hitting both during this same time frame, Rich had to keep finding new ways to bring in more viewers and better monetize his channel. One of those was by starting a podcast with the man, the myth, the nightmare of Zoe Quinn's dreams, Mundane Matt. Matt and Rich started a show together called The Verdict, where they offered the sharpest cuts, the wittiest humor, just the hottest commentary you've ever heard.
He thought, like, he was frisking him, he was filling his pockets, and I guess this guy's dick was so big that he thought that his mushroom tip, like you saw, he was like, he was massaging the tip of his mushroom.
It didn't do the numbers Rich hoped it would, so he just dropped it in early 2016. Now there was one problem. He'd never told Matt that he was dropping the show because of the numbers. He didn't phone this nigga, didn't text him, didn't Skype him, whatever. Bro just quiet quit the podcast without ever saying anything. As we can see, Rich is still handling his business partnerships like a pro. So the podcast didn't work out, but that's fine. Rich had another plan. He was gonna get rid of those flaky ass third-party sponsors that kept dropping him altogether and start a Patreon. He has to run this by his audience because he's a little bit of a bitch and is deadly afraid of being perceived as greedy. This won't actually stop him from being greedy, he just doesn't like being seen as greedy. So first he's like, yeah, not doing a Patreon. Something I found out left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I don't want to be associated with that. But then, not even 2 weeks later, he's like, Review Tech USA is now on Patreon, with a link to a now deleted video. But then he flip-flops and takes that video down the very next day because a sponsor he really wanted just happened to hit him up as soon as he launched his Patreon page. Well, that's a really weird coincidence, Rich. He leaves it alone until January 2016, where he brings it up again. People keep asking me about a Patreon. I don't know, maybe I'll set up a passive one and not mention it. Unlikely though. I don't know who these people are, but they definitely weren't Review Tech USA fans, because when Rich threw up a poll about if his fans wanted him to start a Patreon or not, the pro Patreon side got blown into the fucking shadow realm. Rich once again talks about how he just wants to replace his third-party sponsors with a Patreon. You know, because his fans hate him. Not because they keep dropping them because of gay ops by the Big Cheese Crusaders and because the adpocalypse of 2017 fucked AdSense up for everybody, but no, it's because his fans don't like him. Finally, he says, I'm probably not even going to start a Patreon, but still, this topic perplexes the dick out of me. Okay, so Rich's fans say they don't want him to start a Patreon, and he says he's not going to start one. But Rich really wants to start a Patreon. God damn, he wants to start a Patreon. But because he's so afraid of being called out as a grifter, he can't bring himself to do that. So what does he do? Well, one day, Keemstar puts out a video talking mad shit about, guess what? YouTubers with Patreons being really greedy. Rich, who he wasn't talking about, decides to insert himself into this conversation and play victim. Keem clarifies that he wasn't talking about Rich. And this wasn't a high IQ reverse psychology play from Keemstar where he was tacitly calling Rich out like the Blackbuster critic did. No, Keem wasn't thinking about Review Tech USA in any way, and he made that clear. Despite this, Rich persisted. Why? Because he was trying to provoke Keemstar. Because he wanted some e-drama where he and Keem could get into a little spat about the whole Patreon thing. Because it was 2016 and ragging on Keemstar was the wave at the moment, and Rich knew that he could rally support from his audience and build up momentum he needed to finally launch his Patreon page with little to no controversy. And this is exactly what happened.
So how could I have even conjured, even if I was the smartest fucking person in the world, which, spoiler alert, I'm not, to manipulate this to work for me to get people to want to donate to my Patreon?
Because you did. Rich, okay, you have one option, you have two options, right? You can upload a video and say, hey guys, you know, I decided to make a Patreon because people keep asking me about it, so if you want to support me, you know, please use the Patreon. And you know what would have happened, right? It would have happened the same thing that happened on Twitter. People would call you a money whore, people would talk shit to you, tell you to get a real job. Same exact thing would have happened, right? But then you see Keemstar bashing Patreon with big YouTubers that did not, you don't make $10,000 a month. I wasn't talking about you, and you know what? You probably knew I wasn't talking about you, but you saw an opportunity for a debate. You saw an opportunity for a debate, and you pounced on it, right? You started tweeting at me. Then I respond to you, and I say, "Look, man, I'm not even talking about you." And then you have this. Then 2 hours later, you're like, "Got him! Fucking hypocrite! He's got a donate button." What, Rich? I thought we already settled this. Why are you coming back, right? And I tell you, hey, look, I know what you're doing. I tell you, Rich, I know what you're doing. You're going to try to make a video on this because I already knew what was going on. I already knew that you wanted this to be a thing. You want to talk about your Patreon without having to beg. And if you can create some controversy here, and you can upload a video saying, oh, Keemstar's a hypocrite, then you can promote your Patreon without begging.
As a matter of fact, before I got into the Twitter spat with you, there was more thumbs up on me starting a Patreon than thumbs down. As soon as I started going at it with you, it went to there was more no's than yes.
And during it, Rich said in crystal clear English that he wasn't going to start a Patreon.
Rich, look, you said just a little while ago that you're not going to be making a Patreon.
Yeah.
All right. I feel at this point like if I'm not adding anything and I'm just like watching some shit along with the chat, I feel like it's probably not worth me doing, because like I at this point I don't have anything to say about. I'm just watching it, and I don't typically like streams where like the streamer just does that, and I've easily been doing that for like probably 45 minutes of this, so probably gonna end the stream. I'll post the link one more time to this video so you can like finish on your own, because I know it's got to be like a cock tease to like you got into it and it's like, oh, what happens next? So I will post that, but like I just feel weird about like doing a stream where I'm just like sitting there not contributing anything. I'm just watching it. So like there's a link right there. And you can watch that. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream because like, you know, I did what I set out to do, was to watch the one documentary, and I commented and I did the thing on that. But then once I started watching this, I'm like, Oh yeah, I'm doing the same thing all the other fucking streamers do, where you just like kind of watch something, you don't even really like comment on it or whatever. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Till next time, I guess.